Let's get deep, going deep, Chad and JT.
All right, we're hot into the podverse, cranking it up, feeling the heat. It's draft day, but we got an epic. Well, first off, what up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad JT podcast. We got my compadre, Sean Thomas. What up?
Boom clap, Stokers.
We got the T-Dart tyrant himself, Strider Wilson.
What up, dude?
Fresh from Munchin Box. And we got the legend James Beshara on the pod. Dude, welcome. Friend of the pod.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Honor to have you on.
It's weird to hang out with we surf all the time together,
Yeah.
and now cameras are rolling, and
We got a mic now.
mics are,
Yeah.
it's a whole new level of hanging out. There's a whole lot of pressure.
Yeah, this is like a surf sesh, but without the surfing and with hot mics.
And a lot of judgment with each word I choose, it feels like.
Careful.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
the stream is watching.
I'll just try to be as quiet as possible. Let y'all make the mistakes.
yeah.
Dude, no, we want some of that philosophy from the lineup, dude. Surfing for me is just swallowing salt water. I've never been able to actually get out there and hang out with the dudes.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that's half of the fun, honestly. Just getting that vitamin D, little miniature cold plunge, at least in SoCal, little cold plunge, workout, and then hanging with the bros.
It's the best.
And you get that. You get the negative ions from the ocean.
Dude, negative ions. So like everybody talks about cold plunging now. In 5 years, everybody and their mother's going to be talking about negative ions.
What is a negative ion?
So the body, through all of that bioactivity that just happens naturally in the body throughout the course of a day, week, month, you produce free radicals, and you end up in a positively charged, being walking around.
Mm-hmm.
It ruined my credibility when I slowed down there for a second.
No. But you were going to say the word being, and when you say the word being, it's like, dude, we need to punch James in the shoulder right now.
That's right. That's right.
But we're on
I was
board.
using really strong words until I went weak with being.
No,
but as far as I understand it, so we become positively charged through just natural activity, and negative ions neutralize our charge. So it's just like static. Think of similar to static electricity, but instead of electrical charge, it's ions in the body. So you can decharge your positive charge with anything that's negatively charged. The ocean, and this is part surfer lore and part of the research that anyone can do with ChatGPT about negative ions and free radicals in the body. But the ocean specifically, where 10 million years of these waves have been pounding that same spot, produces this natural negative ion reservoir that when you're walking up and down the beach and you feel like, man, that was so relaxing. And a lot of people just think it's because of the visuals, or like, oh, it's at the beach. A whole lot more is going on, specifically walking up and down the beach without your shoes on, negative ions and neutrally charging your body. And you're like, man, I feel that. I filled my stoke tank.
Yeah.
What was that? Negative ions.
Dude.
Interesting.
There is. I mean, the whole experience of surfing with the sun, the water, the beach there really is no better start to the day, I don't think.
It's almost like gambling till you don't know how it's going to go. It's certainly not like basketball where the same setup is there every time. And you get good waves, then you don't know if you're going to be able to ride it. And so like there's a whole nice, it's a cool cocktail of like 5 different awesome things for the body going on at the same time.
I'm never more fired up to listen. I surf and then I'll throw on a Rogan pod. And I'm like, let's get some knowledge after that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just the combo of like, let Joe just,
They've been terrible lately.
The Rogan pods?
Yeah.
I haven't listened lately. I haven't been surfing lately.
Damn. Oh, you haven't?
You've been marathoning it.
I've been marathon training, yeah.
Dude, the fires have ruined the surfing that's that is so stupid. As soon as that that shouldn't be said, and yet logistically it is an observation. It has ruined.
It's true. Can you go in the water now?
The reason I say it shouldn't be said is obviously a start to the morning is nothing compared to someone's home.
True.
But it also has ruined the surfing lately.
All that runoff in that Malibu. And does the current go south? I've lived in Southern California my whole life.
Dude, good
no
question.
idea.
I don't know.
Does it fucking
Depends
come
on.
south?
I think it depends.
I think it
on the
depends,
swell. Hey, actually, I don't know.
I don't know any of this.
No, actually, maybe the swell is independent of tide currents.
Because I was gonna say you'd have to just travel. You'd have to go like down to Huntington or something. Because if you go out in LA, where do you usually go? Like somewhere like in Malibu?
Manhattan Beach, Santa Monica, Malibu.
It's like black soot everywhere. Apparently,
Yeah.
all the toxic chemicals from the homes.
Yeah, it's a fucking bummer, dude.
I don't know how interesting this is for listeners, but yeah, it has dominated my mindset the last like 6 weeks.
Is there a
Just nothing
timetable
else.
on how long till you guys can go back in?
In general with these fires, no one knows shit, and people are throwing out all kinds of. Someone was like, PCH is going to be closed for 2 years, and then like 4 days later, it opened up to 1 lane, and then it closed again because of the mudslides. But then, yeah, people are saying for the water. People are saying someone was tweeting that it's going to be like 1.5 years, and then it got tested. I want to say on Thursday, and they said it was fine.
You know who would know? Rogan.
Yeah,
Rogan.
Ask Rogan.
Rogan.
He only
yeah.
knows about Texas now, though.
That's true. You can't paddle
Lake
out in
Austin.
Texas to
He's like-
Galveston.
Yeah, he's like Galveston. It's cool.
Why have the episodes sucked lately, you think?
I think he's been worse since he moved to Texas. I think he was like sharper when he was in California and kind of surrounded by people who he didn't agree with, because I think it forced him to like sharpen his point of view more. And now he seems like he's more of in an echo chamber, and the people who come on are kind of just amplifying the opinions he already had, rather than him actually being in a more like contrarian dynamic where they're kind of trying to take from each other's perspective and come away a little bit different. That would be my
So it's been a
estimation.
while. It's been like 3 years of it not being that great.
I think it's been a steady kind of decline. I don't think there's been like and then I think also because he was unfairly maligned during COVID for taking ivermectin and doing his own treatment modality, I think that put into his brain like a serious kind of like not victim, but like being attacked kind of mentality. And so it made him like refortify going in the other way.
It's probably
You're
better.
smiling about this. You're liking.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever. I was just hoping I was landing the plane, so I was laughing at the end because I was like, I think I said it right. Although I was probably, I might have gotten a little word salad there at the end. Yeah.
Dude, and you're like me and negative ions there a few minutes ago.
Yeah. It's a lot of projection too. I can't say for certain, but that would be me watching it. What I thought.
Dude,
Yeah.
there's something to that of like you. It used to be a little bit more sparring or open-minded. Now it does feel like, hey, I have a message that I want people to hear. Who are the guests that can come on and help me amplify this message?
That's how I kind of feel about it. Totally.
It's less about discovery. It's less about Rogan being like, whoa.
Yeah.
And more about like him being like, yeah, no, I've looked at that too. And this is why that.
I prefer the ones with like where they're studying space.
Yes.
Or, what's his name? The like physicist.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. that
What's
guy?
it?
The guy where
Yeah,
he
like-
talks
like-
too much.
Like that guy. Yeah, he's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But like I think Brian Greene, is that his name?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
the string
awesome.
He's
physicist.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're diving into the mysteries of the universe, that's when I really get sucked in. Aliens are so played out though. I'm
Yeah.
aliens were cool 10 years ago when it was kind of like, people were like, oh, you're into aliens. It's kind of like when weed was illegal. You had to kind of go into someone's Camry
like
and listen to it. And,
Weezer once is a little too mainstream. It's like I
Yeah.
don't even want to talk about.
now that the government's like, yeah, it's aliens. You're like, oh, shut up.
Right. When
Yeah.
the government starts talking about liking Weezer, it's no longer.
It's like your parents. It's like your parents asking if you want to smoke weed. You're like, dude,
Yeah.
Like, no,
chill.
I do cold plunges now, and you don't even know why you started doing it, but it's because forbidden.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, my dad called me from the hospital. He's like, what's going on with the Anunnaki aliens? I'm like, Dad, come on.
Can we please talk about negative ions, Dad?
Yeah. I'm like,
Can we
Dad.
please talk about something you don't know anything about so that I can have a little bit of airtime?
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, it's either orthopedics or aliens. I'm like, bro, let's
Pick a
talk
lane,
about,
dude.
let's talk about Shilajit.
Dude. Hey, if you're starting beef with Rogan for the numbers, I'd love to start a little beef with old Troy Casey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good.
And the Shilajit game he was running on y'all, acting like he wasn't involved, getting kickbacks.
Oh, so you think that was payola? You think Sheila Jeet was helping him out?
I mean, it was a strong sell for Sheila Jeet for about 12 minutes.
And before we started the pod, he goes, "Oh, I almost forgot," and ran to his bag to get it, bro. So that's the little lift of the veil
Waiting for
behind the scenes.
Cameras
Right.
are rolling.
Schmoll
Oh,
move.
okay. I just had a yearning for something.
Yeah, Troy was a schmoll. I should have called him a schmoll when I saw him, but I was just shell shocked by a lot of his stances on stuff.
No,
Well,
he was
comes
cool.
at you
He was
fast,
cool.
and a lot of
Yeah.
people too. There's so much to love about them that you can kind of miss what the categorization.
I
of
love
it
how
is.
jacked he is in his beard. You know, like
Yeah.
the
He's so
tan.
packaging,
He's
you
so
know?
tan.
Yeah, he's
Beards.
tan.
Well, you got to watch out for beards. Beards are the catfish of
Really?
the now.
Yeah,
Dude, you think someone's like, wow, this guy must be and he might be. Troy might be all of these things. I don't know him other than listening to him on y'all's pod, but you'd automatically think they're friggin' well studied.
Yeah.
That they're going to be sophisticated, that they know things you don't, that they've seen behind the veil, that they're really kind and strong. And you take their beard away, and it's like, oh, this weak-chinned motherfucker. This
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, well, he's very handsome. I think that's part of what makes him. He was a model. You know, he's shorter than you'd think he'd be. He's like 5'2",
yeah,
but
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, he's 5'2".
That's going to feed the
Yeah.
beef. Okay, thank you.
You're actually sitting in a bigger chair. We had to get him a smaller chair for scale.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. These
Because you're
I'm-
like 6'5", which I love.
And I'm making mental notes
Yeah.
for the beef that
Yeah.
I'm going to keep stirring with him.
Yep.
He's a beautiful man.
Here's the thing.
Dang.
Yeah,
All
if,
you need to know
if you're a guru, you got to be hot.
All you
He's
need to know is
5'11". I was messing with
He's
him.
former model is all you need to know, dude.
Dude, he's got, that I would trust anything he
But
said.
he's pretty
to be honest.
jacked. I mean, he's pretty jacked. Yeah.
You add a beard to that, and yeah, whatever that guy says, I'm buying.
Dude, that guy
Wholesale.
taking you through an ice bath is
That's true.
pretty.
Dude.
It's almost as good as like a Morgan Freeman speech. you
Yeah,
know? You're
I
like,
bet
that,
he's
doing
really good at that
men's
stuff.
work. I mean, this
Yeah.
just
Men's
he,
work is,
he
yeah.
had me at men's work, Sheila Jeet, men's work until he went in a minute 11 and 12 talking about Sheila Jeet. Then I was
Look,
like,
he's
something's
totally
up.
insane.
But
I
then
mean,
he said,
the guy is certifiably
that photo is
insane.
awesome.
No one needs
Drinking
to be,
urine, dude. That's an awesome topic to bring. I mean, he has it figured out.
You're
Talking
butt
about,
sunning.
can people
so
see
good,
what's
dude.
on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so the certified health nut, and then the subtopics of that episode are drinking. The first one's drinking urine.
Yeah.
Who's not going to click and watch that?
It's true.
He's very. I mean, I see him
It's-
getting shared by like comedians. Like Rob Hubel just did a video of him. So like he's I think the stuff he talks about is so inherently shareable, viral. You know, like when he was in our show, the chunk he did was one of the ones that people reference the most often.
Ball
so,
slapping.
Yeah.
Which one? What did you say?
Ball slapping.
See, I got out of my Uber for this, and I had to end the episode halfway through. So I didn't get to that. Oh.
He's hammering.
Oh
his,
yes. Oh, I've seen this.
hammering his nuts
Oh,
here.
it's this guy. Yes. Yeah.
So good, dude.
I didn't even know it was the same guy. Oh, what a great clip.
You guys look shredded here. Swole,
I
dude.
know.
Yeah.
I will say, if someone pronounces it creatine, I'm kind of lost. I lose a little bit, a little street cred loss. But God, that guy's like a freaking, that's everything you visually want of a leader.
He's
True,
good TV.
true.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't start beef with him.
Nah,
But I
beef
will.
is sometimes beef is good.
I know
dude.
for the numbs.
As long as
Yep.
it's a grass-fed ribeye.
Oh baby.
Oh baby,
Yeah.
good cut.
Yeah, I'm actually pescatarian, so
Are you?
Oh, nice.
I am. But let's take that off. Let's edit that out.
How are you? End of episode.
I'm giving my freaking sworn enemy too much fodder right
That's
now.
fuel right there,
and
dude,
frickin'
yeah.
Troy.
How
yeah.
are your mercury levels?
Fine. My blood panels, dude. I do it every 6 months, and I'm going down in age, bros. It's 28 now, 27 biological age.
Are you
Wow.
serious?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm
Dude.
getting younger. Benjamin Button over here.
Wait, so what fish do you eat to keep your mercury down?
Speaking of Rob Hubel, by the way,
Yeah.
there's a soundbite in my head from my youth, from 6 or 7 years old, that has been etched in my brain for 30 years, and I never gotten rid of it. And I've always been like, living in LA, if I ever see Rob Hubel, I'm going to let him know that his line, it's pronounced karate.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? To kick off,
love
it was
you,
for
man.
a theater chain, and it was like essentially a PSA to not talk during the movie, and it was him doing it, and he's on the phone. He's like, "It's actually pronounced karate." It's like one of his clips, and I love that guy so much because of that.
He's hilarious,
I don't know
man.
if you'll be able to find the clip there. But anyhow, that was when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Every time I went to see a movie for like 3 years, I saw this guy do a 90-second PSA of not talking, and it's pronounced karate.
Karate.
In the middle of a movie on his cell phone. I love that guy.
He's great.
Awesome.
He's great.
He's so funny.
And then mercury levels, yeah, they're not high. I don't eat a whole lot of, like swordfish has a lot of high
Tuna.
mercury.
Salmon's
tuna
got a
has-
good chunk of it too, right?
Swordfish is like the highest, from what I
Yeah, it's because
have
it's the
looked up.
biggest, right? They live the longest. They eat the most small stuff.
That's right. And but I eat a lot of salmon, and then a lot of I eat salmon probably twice a week, so not a lot of it. And then a lot of shrimp. I had shrimp and oysters. But honestly, I just eat a lot of Raisin Bran.
Oh,
Raisin
really?
Bran?
Yeah,
I love Raisin Bran.
It's like my go-to lunch. I don't eat in the morning, so my go-to lunch is Whole Foods, like 365 Raisin Bran, to eat a lot of fiber, and then I take a nice little 20-minute nap.
What kind of milk?
Bang.
Almond milk.
Yeah, almond milk.
Yeah,
Same.
in my blood panels, it always shows up. I'm waiting for it. Sometimes it can go away, but developed a sensitivity to lactose like in my late 20s,
Right.
Yeah.
and eggs, sadly.
Yeah.
And just wait.
Oh, eggs too?
Yeah.
Damn.
I've been doing sardines.
Really
Delicious, easy, pop.
delicious. See, people don't usually. That's not the
They're
first word that
good.
people. How do you prepare it to where
Just
it's
straight
good?
out of the can.
And is
Because
there
they're
a
in olive
brand?
oil.
Most people think the taste is.
I think
awful.
Wild Planet is the brand I like. It's really good.
Could you eat any sardines, or is there specific brands like that taste good?
I don't like it when it's just the fillets. I think it needs to have the skin on it for it to be really tasty. So I get that one right there.
I mean, taste is just not. It's not usually in the top things that people describe.
No, I think they're good. You just
Have
had
y'all,
some,
y'all,
right?
y'all like sardines?
Yeah, we
I-
did the
I do.
tuna out of the can, but sardines. My dank-ass wife will eat sardines every once in a while, but yeah, I'm with James on this one. It's just, there's so much other food I'd rather have.
But have you had them?
I've never eaten it. I've smelt it when my wife's eating it.
Try it. I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was the sardines, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Dude, I've been
Dude, come on! Y'all didn't even catch that.
I've been
I
having
hope listeners catch that.
dude, because I've been running so much, I eat everything right now. I've just eggs and toast and fat Jersey Mikes, a whole pizza.
I love a Jersey Mike's.
Dude,
I-
Jersey
I'm-
Mike's so good.
It's so good.
They nailed it.
I'll if I do a long run, midway I'll Postmate Jersey Mike's. So it's waiting
Treat
for me.
yourself.
Yeah, I get chips too. I like this long distance run because I can just eat anything. I mean, I haven't done blood panels, so we'll see. But I'm just
Is
I'll
that
do
something
like-
you
it's like a
acquired
2000
a taste for of long distance running? Like, did you get into
I-
it later in life, or did you always like it?
My brother made me do a 6K when we went to New Orleans in September, and I just loved it. And I've done sprints for like 10 years, and I was always kind of averse to. I mean, it is like you can feel it in your body. It's not good long term, but I do love the runner's high. I love.
When
just,
do you get it? Like 2 miles? I've never really run more than maybe 3 miles, 4 miles.
I think probably 2 miles you lock in, and then, but what I've really enjoyed lately is I'll just run to the ocean and back, and that's about 10, 11 miles for me, but it's kind of like surfing where you get the sun and that whole thing. I don't know. I just love that stuff.
I think I've never really. I've only run that 3 miles or 4 miles like once. I don't think I've ever. I do a mile, and I'm like, this is brutal the whole time. I don't think I've done it long enough to.
Yeah, I think it is an acquired. It's like Sheila Jeet.
Are you on fucking dude? Big Sheila G's behind chat too.
I got. Speaking of which,
You gotta run to your car real quick.
yeah. No, but you can feel the wear and tear. You're like, this is not good. I've lost toenails and shit. It's not good.
When you're training for the LA Marathon, right?
Yeah.
When is that? End of March?
March 16th.
Baby.
I'm doing
It's right
20
around the corner.
20 miles tomorrow.
Oh,
Bro.
Whoa! As part of the training.
Yeah, you gotta do 20 at least once, and so I'm like 3 weeks out, so
And then
it allows you to recover.
6 more after
Smart.
that.
6 more after that. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a whole run.
But you know what's gonna be
Oh
sick
my
after?
gosh.
The Michelob Ultra.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
Your
nice.
body's completely depleted, and then you have a fat brew. It's
Bro.
gonna go straight to my dome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's gonna be a nice buzz.
Yeah, it's sick.
Post-race brewski.
I'll probably throw up, but
No,
it'll
dude.
be like that first sip will be nice.
Dude, one of my buddies finished a marathon 10 years ago, and I was there at the finish line waiting for like 30 minutes, and he finally comes through, and he's a really athletic dude. So it was one of our only friends to ever do something like this. We're all there, and they hand him like one of those like foil jacket things. He puts it on, and me, like 3 of our other friends are there, and we're like, dude, you did it. And we go up to him. He's like, no, that's all right. Give me a sec. And we're like, you did it. And I tried to give him a hug. I was like, do I smell shit? And he had shit down his leg.
Dude, I mean, that's
Whoa.
like, you do like, if you don't empty before, it churns it up and you gotta crap your pants.
Are you going to do it? Would you do that? Is that like a known thing? You're like, I will do that if I need to.
crap my pants? Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it.
Good answer.
I would just take the time ding, go to one of the porta potties,
Yeah.
and just shit.
Dude, once you get that competitive fire in you,
It's true.
I could see you running with crap all over your legs just to get that 3:30 time.
That's true. I need to be Davis Clark, dude. That guy famously shit his ass. I locked in. I dialed in, locked in. Have you seen that clip? It did
Shit my
numbies.
pants like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would hit the porta potty for sure.
Oh, man.
He's jacked, dude.
He's in good shape.
I hear he's a good guy too.
Yeah.
He seems sweet.
And peeing yourself, that's the easy, like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's no brainer. I do that just.
It's the middle of the
All
night.
right, should we draft?
Yeah.
Let's do
All right,
it.
we're drafting best inventions of all times, guys. It's going to be a humdinger. Throw them out on 3. Odds or evens. Do you know how to play odds or evens?
No.
So you throw out a 1 or a 2
Oh, okay,
on
yeah.
3. All right. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, I'm 4th.
Wow.
All right, now one more time. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh.
Third.
All right, so now you guys paper, rock,
Rochambeau.
scissors. You could get the number 1 pick, bro.
Dude,
Are you ready?
Rochambeau, or are we doing one?
Paper, rock,
Rochambeau.
scissors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh.
Oh, Chad Daddy.
Number 1 pick.
All right, I got the number 1 pick, and I'm actually pumped to get the number 1 pick because I think it's kind of a no-brainer here. Number 1 pick, I'm going the wheel.
Yeah.
Good pick.
The
Yeah,
wheel.
nice.
You know, it's.
I would have
I
taken
think
that.
it's the top invention. I think it's what took human beings to the next phase, so they could build civilization. It allowed for transportation, and it's still, you know, if you think about it, it's one of the most widely used inventions still today. And I think it will always use the wheel unless we go completely airborne.
Would be sick when society does that.
Yeah. But it not only has it allowed for transportation of goods and created civilization, but it's also allowed for skating, scootering, blading.
You know, I got here on some.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You scooted here. You put wheels on your whip.
Mm-hmm.
It just allows for you to move things, and it's tough to think of a world where we were all just walking around trying to scope out buffalo, and the wheel didn't exist.
Yeah, it's
Can you
crazy.
imagine? Yeah.
Also, just for the wheel for
Imagine scoping out buffalo with fucking wheels, just cruising
Yeah. Oh,
around.
dude.
All your
Scoot-
homies are walking with sticks, and you're just cruising on a golf cart,
Yeah.
jabbing the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And it was the Sumerian people in like 3500 BC,
in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization.
like Iraq, right?
It's Iraq. They say that's where they think. That's the earliest evidence they have of it. It could have been somewhere else, but that's the earliest evidence we've found.
I mean, that's a huge discovery. You just bring that home to the crew and you're like,
Yeah, dude.
dudes, things are about to change. And you know there was some skeptics,
Oh, for sure.
some fellas in the crew who are like, dude, you're an idiot. You're always trying to come up with stuff. This ain't going to be nothing.
Well, as you were talking, I was just thinking in my head, do you think people were receptive to that idea when the first homie brought the wheel?
Yes, I bet they were stoked. They're
Really?
like, yeah, dude.
You don't think people are like, dude, no one's going to use it?
I bet maybe like the dudes who, because like back then it was like you got captured in a village and you were slaves building monuments for like whatever Sumerian god, Anunnaki or whatever the fuck, and
Anunnaki.
yeah, dude,
Big
and
ups
it's
to
like
Anunnaks.
maybe like the aristocracy was like, damn, now their jobs got a little easier. But then they're like, dang, but then maybe they will make these people last longer. So that's good. I'm going to get more utility from these people that I'm oppressing. So I think it was accepted across the board. And it feels like one of those inventions that just feel like it's always been there. Like from day one, I'm like, of course we had wheels. It's crazy to think there was a time when we didn't.
I mean,
you know?
It's
totally.
so essential. You imagine it always existed.
Yes.
And James, you're an entrepreneur. When you got into entrepreneurship, were you thinking, what's the next wheel?
I didn't phrase it that way. It was more like, what will beat the wheel?
Dude.
But I just as well could have said, what's the next
I got a
wheel?
pitch. Blades. Put everything on blades, dude.
Dude.
Snowboard style. We just got to put ice on all the roads.
Sick.
Just fucking blade everywhere, dude.
Have you ever thought about putting Magic Mind on wheels?
Dude, where Magic Mind takes you, you don't need wheels.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm talking
that's
about.
Nice.
You're zooming all day. You're no longer fucking in an Uber.
This is better than the
Driving.
wheel. It uses the power
You
of the
are
mind.
elevated.
Telekinesis.
These things are pretty dank, dude.
They're good. James, you're in a unique position right now to beat the wheel because you have the number 2 pick. So what are you going with?
Well, I got my list here, and I mean, I got to go unconventional because I don't want to come here with ones that y'all were, everybody's going to say.
I think this is going to be good.
So I spent a lot of time thinking about this over the last few days since Chad texted me. I'm going to go back to the year 1722. Jean-Louis Liaison, Frenchman, invented liaisoning.
Whoa.
Liaison.
Connecting people,
Like a consultant?
bridging gaps,
The first
connecting
consultant?
people, connecting different parties. You got
This is a great pick
brokering
and a terrible
deals,
pick at the same
brokering
time,
deals.
dude.
Oh, you don't like deals?
No, I love
If you like
deals.
deals,
I
and you
love
have
deals.
Jean-Louis Liaison
Wow.
to fucking give props to. Trade. We got
This is fire.
peace treaties, liaisoning.
Wow.
Humans did. It's like the wheel. It's like JT said about the wheel. The best inventions, you think we were always doing it. You go to 1721,
Right.
no one was even talking to each other. They didn't even know how to resolve conflict because they didn't know about liaisoning until.
Wow.
So this was like the first third-party adjudicator for like a beef? Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Now my I use Grok 1 for my AI app, so it could be.
You use Grok 1?
It could be wrong at times. But
Is
that's
that,
what, this
is that
the
different from
information.
ChatGPT?
Yeah, it's free.
Dude,
Oh.
this was a crazy cool pick. And you know what? I never would have known that. And you're giving me knowledge straight to the dome.
LIASON.
I'm going to repeat this to people for the rest of my life. So I appreciate that
Jean-Louis
gift, dude.
Liaison.
This is great. You know, here's the thing. I
think y'all being
appreciate-
nice to me, maybe.
Yeah, no, Jim,
Oh,
I'm
no,
about
it's
to
a-
come
it's a-
at you.
yeah.
Here's the thing.
Come at me.
I love that you brought knowledge to us right
Come
now.
at me.
And I'm stoked
is
about.
fun.
Hey, come at me.
I like this.
Just get to the come at me part.
Dude,
But you left a lot of chalk on the table here. I mean, you could have gotten liaison way later
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
draft,
but he's
bro.
spicing it up. He's
Dude,
going
but it's
off beat, and you're being unconventional. I dig.
Listen, if I die right after this episode, I want people to say that mofo thought.
That's the way to draft. You're right.
I love
Not,
what you're doing.
oh, that guy was conventional, was a parrot, was some type of schmoll.
No, you're not Schmoll. You're
Oh,
not,
I don't know if
Troy.
really got many Troy cases.
No,
over
you're
here.
crushing.
Fucking
Here's
word.
my thing.
Big Sheila J.
Why didn't you go with Marcus Tullius Tiro?
From
Roman
T. Rowe Price?
slave.
Oh.
First notary in history.
Whoa.
No, hey, whoa. Is that what you're going with?
Gotta
Because
get some
otherwise,
stuff
don't fucking
notarized.
fill people's heads with we just started this draft.
Sorry. You're right.
Okay.
And
Without
Jake,
him-
if I'm talking too loud on the mic, because I'm getting
This
freaking
is what happens
razzed
when
over
you
here,
draft.
let me know.
Do we
and I'll
want
dial
Cicero
down.
speeches or not? That's all I'm saying. Strides dogs.
Here's the thing. History has to be recorded. And if for a long time it was oral tradition, oral, what up? And
Dude,
when we were able to write that down, that's huge. When we were able to print that stuff, that's even bigger. I'm going the printing press, dude. Gutenberg, bro.
Legend, dude.
The actor?
Fucking, yeah, dude, no, dude. Stanislavski, dude. Well, his acting method got recorded with.
Oh, that's a good pick, Stanislavski.
It's a huge one.
We wouldn't have modern acting without it, brother.
True.
But pitch on the press.
So with knowledge, and the Bible and God's word was able to travel the greatest with the printing press. That's like was its biggest immediate impact. Its lasting impact, as we all know, fucking books are everywhere, dude. So, and with education and knowledge come a lot of solves that are unseen. Freakonomics, James, you might get stoked on this. When you have a population that's more literate, more learned, crime goes down. Unwanted births, all that type of stuff. So it elevated society huge and led to, a lot of other discoveries and shared knowledge.
Dude, we're
so
reading words right here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here without that written word. Grok 1 did say you were going to pick that.
And we couldn't organize. Like abstract thought being able to like connect us, that's our advantage over the rest of nature. So
Totally.
nothing put that more into tangible action than the printing press, homie.
It was huge. Going back to when your wheel was
Tangible use.
all you had was tablatures. The what's that fucking first book, Gilgamesh? It's on a tablature, bro. Now you can put that shit on paper, dude.
Wow.
Put it between bindings. Bring it around, dude.
And so the printing press around that time, I mean, that's like the crazy hardcore history that we love about Munster, Germany. A lot of that was the acceleration of the printing press allowed all these ideas that were initially just about religion to spread all over Europe. And so people started, I think religion accelerated as a result too, right? Because then you started having more sects and versions that could be disseminated.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about the printing press is... So Gutenberg is the inventor of the printing press. We had printing presses, but he did the movable type. You change one little thing and it unlocks everything.
Wow.
And the movable type then made it to where it's like, oh, we can use the same structure for another book tomorrow and another one after that.
Huge. Because monks used to have to just do it
Yeah.
like they would have tablets that they would just copy.
Exactly.
Good information.
But it wasn't movable type, which we largely forget was the nice little tweak that made it insanely more valuable.
James,
Yeah,
huge value add to the pod. Let's
That's
go,
been
dude.
huge, dude.
Hey,
Opposite of Troy, dude.
You're cooking,
From where
bro.
you were to this new knowledge, I liaisoned you.
Whoa.
And
go,
And so, maybe liaison.
So you're
not
saying
so
like
bad.
a guy who knows stuff should be the number one
liaison.
pick.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Also,
bro.
dude,
brokering.
A threesome. Technically, there's a liaison.
Liaison, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's tight.
Dude, threesomes always start with one person getting the idea started and then brokering all the deals.
And you need that
Correct.
middle person who's like, hey, I got the smooth energy to transfer energy between parties.
Exactly.
All right, dude, I'm up now. A lot of you homies are going to say this is a discovery, not an invention. This is number one with a bullet. Should have been picked all day. I got to give it up to the original inventor, the Homo erectus. I'm going with fire.
See, yeah, I think you were smart to couch it in that argument because it feels like a discovery.
But electricity and the light bulb, aren't they kind of
No.
running in the same department?
They're a little bit, but the light bulb could still be on a list. Maybe now you just burnt that. But look, all gloves are off here. But the way that Edison harnessed it in that carbon like man-made thing and was able to control it on and off.
There's more parts to it. And mine is base essentials. And you could say, look, it naturally occurs. But I'm talking about us being able to control it, reproduce it, and put it out at our own will and timing. So I still think you got to count it. And none of these other things exist without it.
Couldn't you? But then you could say like light, because we're harnessing light too. The difference of discovery and an invention is like observation versus design. And do we design something around fire? Or we like,
I mean,
like
we
electricity. We discovered it.
so you take the two rocks. You take the two rocks, and you got to flint them together and use the little shrubby bush to get it going.
If you want to like acutely apply it, but also you could say like, oh, you got to have copper wire for electricity. You could make the same argument, but we didn't invent electricity.
No, we didn't invent it. But I will say this: if you watch like Alone, and people are put into the most like primal of conditions and need to survive. If someone loses their ability to make fire with whatever that vessel is, whether it be matches or some sort of flint rod, they're dead in the water. They don't make it more than a week. So I don't think we get the opportunity to have any of these later, more sophisticated, more detailed inventions if we don't have fire in the first place.
What about water? So for that argument, without water, you're dead. Are we inventing water?
No, but
Oxygen.
But you could say the ability
To manipulate water, and I might take this later.
water
but
purification. You could say that.
you could say.
That's a good pick. And that's why with my next
Hey,
pick...
dude, no, you're burning too many picks. I mean,
know,
hopefully I can still use
Sorry,
notary.
you're right. You're
but
right.
I'm
You're
saying,
right.
I don't,
You're right. I am. That's bullshit.
We'll have to see about our.
That's bullshit. I erase all the times I did that, Jake. I'm sorry.
yeah, give me notary back.
Yeah, this feels like more of a
you
discovery.
were not going to do notary,
Yeah.
dude.
Don't look at my notepad. Quit looking at my
Dude,
notepad.
I'm not looking at your shit, bro. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would keep all these natural sort of elements off of my list personally.
Personally, right.
Personally.
All right, well, let me
Grok
make-
would agree. Grok 1 would agree.
Grok
with you.
1 would definitely agree, dude. Grok 1 is a Sumerian god, by the way. That's who Grok 1
Yeah, and it's free. A free Sumerian god. Anyone can download.
All right. Well, you know what? You guys are right. It's a pick that can be somewhat disparaged. Although I think it's important to start off, with an element, something base core that you can build off of. And from there, I'm getting to something a little more sophisticated, a little more modern. I'm going 20th century penicillin.
Yeah.
Antibiotic medication, dude. We're going with Alexander Fleming, a Scottish biologist who observed...
Also discovery, but I'm gonna save my razzing for when you're done.
just straight up observed that mold growing on a petri dish was killing the bacteria around it. He isolated the mold, identified the active ingredient as penicillin, and doubled our lifespan. So gracias mucho to Alexander Fleming. Where would we be without you, dog?
Yeah,
You're cooking with something, dude.
Let's go.
Someone put
Let's
the
go.
top on a pot. What's going on here?
Let's go.
Are you opposed to penicillin?
Dude, I'm in y'all's territory on your pod. I'm not gonna.
No, come at me.
No, you gotta have
no,
it.
I'm capping it.
Let's hear it.
fuel
No,
for
I want to hear from
no,
y'all
no.
first. All right. Well, I will say it. Penicillin, also discovery, dude. It requires human design. Okay. And I know I maybe started off week with liaison,
love
but
this.
listen, and hold on,
That's a good point.
That's
Dude,
design.
I appreciate
That's
you doing
design.
that. That's integrity.
Not
Thank you, dude.
observation though. And he observed. From what I remember, from 7th grade, he came back and was surprised in a petri dish. And he's like, "Whoa, that's happening." It's kind of like fire, where it's like, "Whoa, we could use that." But he didn't invent. He didn't design it like you design like the chair, not to burn picks, but he just observed. He's like, oh, we can harness that for other stuff. It's kind of like electricity. Or
I hear what
heat.
you're saying, but I mean, especially in the situation of penicillin, it took so long for someone to observe that and discover it that if it was as simple as you're saying, why wasn't it available?
Dude,
I guess a lot of other
I guess
inventions had to
Einstein
happen.
invented E = MC squared then?
No, but you could say that Newton invented basic physics, right? I mean, it's observable. It's all stuff that we know is there, but he created a system in which we could make sense of it with one another. So I don't know. I think that a lot of invention is just observation put into a way that's disseminated.
I'm just excited, dude.
But
I'm
no,
just
dude,
excited to be
you're
here. I'm
testing me.
just
You're
excited
pushing me.
to
I'm
be
getting
here.
No, this
better
is good. This is
because
what
of
a
you.
draft
This
is
is what a
about.
draft is about, dude. I appreciate. But do you not agree that Newton invented?
He didn't invent
No,
acceleration.
math is the language of the
he
universe.
He didn't invent. He gave terms to it, but like Einstein didn't invent E = MC squared.
No,
he
but
came up with the articulation, but the fact that they equal each other wasn't like, hey, these didn't equal each other.
It's like
until
gravity.
Einstein.
So what would you say Einstein is like the father of like quantum physics, basically?
I guess theory of relativity is like the biggest thing. General relativity is like his.
So you would not say
he didn't win the Nobel Prize for that though.
You wouldn't say he's the inventor of that theory.
He's inventor of the theory, but he didn't invent what it said. It would be like you saying like, "Hey, I invented heat," and you're like, "How did you do that?" Because I'm giving it a word.
See, but I think we're getting lost in the kind of
No, that's okay. I'm just saying
semantics
discovery
of it,
would
but
be
I think it's
observation based,
powerful.
in my opinion. Observation.
Right.
based.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
To add to your pick though, before penicillin, just the use of it. If you get a cut on your hand before that time, if you get shot in the arm, chop that thing off.
Yes.
Nuts.
To support JT's pick
Go guys.
I would
Thanks,
say
man.
it changed. It, like Chad said, like it increased, the human lifespan. It just unlocked so much and made the quality of life. Like if you want out of a quote unquote invention, it's to increase quality of life, ease, the burden of existing on humanity. Penicillin did that hugely.
I mean,
hugely.
think of Maximus in Gladiator when he gets cut in the arm.
Bro,
Dude, if he had some penicillin, he probably would have saved his wife and child.
True, but he might not have become boys with Jaimon Hansu.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But you know what's interesting? Google's confused. Because look, on the left it says penicillin was discovered, but then on the right it says invention date. There is like some
he probably patented it,
room
dude.
here for discussion.
It's the
There
best
is
patent
definitely
of all
room
time.
for discussion on this one, more so than fire.
But also with the math stuff,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think the math stuff is like theorems. Like you wouldn't say I invented a theorem. Like you theorize it.
Discovered
You
it.
use mathematics, which is like basically a language, and then write it down, that like all smart people can interpret and speak. I can't. I could speak it to a very small level, maybe just algebra, fucking FOIL method, shout out. But beyond that, it's describing natural phenomena.
It's a human creation that doesn't occur naturally.
Just like I think if design is involved, human design is needed for it to, versus harnessing something that's observed.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But the harnessing it's a very narrow change from inventing. Harnessing and inventing.
well, I just think like you could, the fire one's a good example where it's like people are harnessing it with the stones, but you could then say like, well, then they invented it, and then I could say, well, I'm connecting these two wires, so I'm inventing electricity, and then you'd be like, no, you're not inventing it. Similarly, I'd say, well, then you're not inventing fire by harnessing it. So I just think, I don't know, Jake, maybe we just ask, what's the definition? How do you distinguish between discovery or invention?
For fire, I guess you could say a bit more just direct invention would be like the match. Very easy. Or a lighter.
Yeah.
Duraflame.
Yeah.
Or a Duraflame log. Like that would be the invention around the discovery.
And that's what I mean
like,
to a certain extent, but I'm not going to put that on my draft list as the title because that's extremely weak.
Very weak,
Yeah.
very weak.
So the catch-all, unfortunately, because we don't have a better one, I just mean modern control and creation of fire, but I'm not going to, it's wordy, so I'm just going to put fire.
No, that's cool. And maybe we're just being speciest.
And look, I'm competing with you. I still think it's fucking important and sick.
Yeah, I think all
I think this
I've
contributions
long
from
thought
Homo
a lot
erectus.
of you are specious. I've long thought that.
Yeah.
And I've been harboring a lot of resentment.
Okay. I'm going to go with one that is admittedly derivative of something that's already been picked here, but it's one of the sickest things that we have. It's, if you live in SoCal and you don't have one of these, good luck getting from point A to point B. I'm going the automobile.
Oh, nice.
Cars, dude. Unbelievably sick. The horseless carriage, dude. The quintessential sign of freedom, baby. Get in and go. Also, in Europe, I went with my wife. No lifted trucks. I almost want to just take a lifted truck for this list.
That was in Portugal?
That was in Portugal.
I thought the Portuguese were down like that.
I didn't see one Dodge Ram
Fuck.
with a lift on it.
That's wild.
Not even a
dude.
spindle drop
Dude,
on an
market
F-150.
opportunity. Huge market opportunity.
Huge, exactly. Granted, I went to Spain, like Mallorca. If you had a lifted truck, you wouldn't be able to move anywhere. The roads are like this narrow. You need a Mini Cooper. But the automobile, huge. I kind of want to cheat a little bit and take, the production method, but I can't really do that. Henry Ford's, why am I blanking on?
Oh, you want to do production line?
No, I mean, it's part of creating a car. I can't really, someone else can take that.
I do want to copy
Someone
that.
else can take
I was
that.
going to say, assembly line. I'm sorry. I was going to say, did you go automobile or combustible engine?
I didn't do the engine. I took that because there is something on there that is a separate pick. So you could take that part of this component, but the sickest application of a combustible engine is within a car, in my opinion. So I'm saying automobile, it's huge. We all use them. We get around. Has it made life so much easier? Yes, dude. It's you can put your personality on it depending on what you drive. So
You see that video of the dude that fell in love with his car?
Really?
True like love, and
Oh yeah.
talks about like how he's in.
Does he bone
love.
it?
Do
Yeah.
they kiss?
What does he bone?
Whoa.
What part does he bone again?
I got to think the gas
Is it
I
tank.
can't remember, but
I think you
I
can
mean, he was
rub
dead
against
serious. It
it.
wasn't like he wasn't even joking around. Yeah, there's
You
the
can
guy
definitely
right
just
there
rub against it.
in a
I mean, there
relationship
is
with his
there
car.
is the the pipe.
The exhaust, the exhaust pipe. Maybe he's a masochist and just slams his hog in and out of the driver's side door.
Yeah, I mean, but there's the cushions too. You could just bone the back seat.
Nothing wrong with that. Some nice leather.
Yeah,
If she'll
that
let
sounds
you.
nice. And dude, I mean, the automobile, it arguably gave birth to probably the greatest human creation of all time, Fast franchise.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. How are you
Which
going
one?
to pull off a
Fast
heist?
franchise.
How are you going to pull off a heist if you don't have a car, dude?
Dude,
Who is Vin Diesel without the car?
Yeah.
it's huge in American iconography. Like it is
Yes.
like, you know, we went from the car to, or from the horse to the car. That's our freedom. You know, that's how we get away from everything. That's
True.
how we self-determine where we end up.
That's where I cry.
Dude,
I cry a lot in my car.
dude, can you imagine? Being in the Donner Party? with No car. You know, if they had a car, they wouldn't have had to eat each other.
True. They're those stupid, Conestoga wagons?
Yeah.
Stupid.
And you could play whatever you wanted and stuff, so that'd help you chill out.
Dude, if
Could listen
people
to
listening
Rhodes.
love cars, the Fast franchise, great, but highly recommend. If you like the movies, the books are even better.
Oh,
For Fast?
Really?
Jesus,
Really?
cooking, dude.
That's
Was the
sick,
Fast
dude.
franchise the only time to ever create a movie first, then the book?
No, books first,
Mystery
man.
Men, too.
Books first.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's over 25 of them.
Wow.
So we got plenty. We got a lot of daylight.
Good.
It has a
the
different.
Fast
It's called
franchise.
American Pastoral by Philip Roth.
I didn't know those exist. That's good because I ran out of things to read. Literally,
Dude,
read
have you read Bill Bryson? I just started him. You would like him. Speaking of universe stuff,
Oh yeah,
No?
a short history of nearly everything.
yeah, he's great.
I just started. I'm loving
Dude,
it.
his Shakespeare bio is really solid.
Really?
I mean, they don't know much about him, so he's got to kind of fill in the blanks. But it's really cool.
I should read it.
He's a breezy writer. He really writes well.
He really takes like high concept stuff and breaks it down for like someone with my like reading level.
Did you get so that one's big, right? The one you
pretty
got.
thick.
Yeah, it's almost like an encyclopedia looking thing. Yeah, that's a monster.
There's some books that are you want them to like you get in and you're like I don't want this thing to end, especially if it's explaining nearly everything.
It's so cool. He starts with like the Big Bang, which was like that's a huge theory now, but like the scientists made fun of it. It's called a Big Bang because other scientists were like, that's so dumb. And then it just got marketed. So but it's crazy. It still doesn't answer the question of like, what was before that? He's
Right.
like, it wasn't like all these chemicals that make up the universe sitting in a void. It's like, we still can't comprehend what that is before rapid expansion. And it wasn't a blow up. It's just expansion.
in 100 years they'll be like, can you believe they thought it just all started with one big bang and there's nothing before it? It's
know.
gonna be cool to watch what we discover
What
I know.
comes through?
and invent.
You know, he never went to college, or only went to college for a couple of years, and then he dropped out.
I feel like all the smartest dudes do that.
Yeah, he's kind of an autodidact. Like he just taught himself a ton of shit.
You know what's relevant to this is Yuval Noah Harari, the author of *Sapiens*.
It's my boy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Love him. He's my
Y'all
boy.
should have him on the pod.
What we don't understand about artificial intelligence is that it will connect people faster than before. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
that's dude. You should use that on a stage.
I'll do a character.
man.
Yeah, I'll do my Yuval character.
Dude.
He's the dude. That's a great character. Dude, that's
It
hilarious.
just pops up on my TikTok. Wait, but
But
you're
relevant
too.
to this is his *Sapiens*. One of the main four main arguments of the book, and this isn't a spoiler because it's not like a scripted book. But at the end, he makes a big case that civilization was a mistake.
Whoa.
Which is so freaking fascinating and cool to think about. I don't know about cool because he makes such a compelling case that you're like, shit, we done fucked up. But the can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
So the basic argument in 10 seconds was that when we were hunter-gatherer societies, that we'd travel in tribes of 30, 70, 100 people. We'd have 2 kids, and we'd work 3 hours a day, 10,000 BC and before. Then when we became agrarian cultures, we thought it was going to be for stability. It's like, oh, we don't have to look for it. There's no, we don't have to walk around. And then you fast forward just a few generations later, agriculture societies are working 12 to 14 hours a day. famines come and wipe off, generations at a time, you have to have more and more children. You never quite make enough food because of the feast famine nature of growing. You never quite make enough, so you always have to have enough kids. You have to have more kids to work the land.
Yeah.
And then because you have two parents, end up having 5, 6, and you're much safer. You're not traveling, so you can have more kids. And then you're always a generation behind to feed them all. So the next generation has 5 or 6 kids. Now you need to acquire more land, and you end up with diseases. You end up with working 14 hours a day. I mean, if you told someone you work 3 hours a day in 2025, they'd be like, this guy's a total lackey.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, 12,000 BC, we all did it.
Wheat domesticated us.
I was about to say, that's such a banger quote.
It's a great quote, yeah. Dude,
Is that from him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And dude, so my wife's has like a centennial farm in her family. And like generations ago, like not even that many, 2 generations, I think, like great grandparents, like you said, you needed kids. Like you had kids and you had these Catholic families, like have kids because you need farm hands. There was a neighboring farm that like a fucking fever came through, scarlet fever, some shit, wiped out some kids. And it was like not uncommon to legally trade one of your kids, and they traded a daughter for like 4 or 5 cows.
Whoa.
And like in a document, like imagine that today being like, hey, just have my 3rd kid, don't really need it later, Catherine. And then being like, dude, I'm going to take these cows now. But it was like very much like they went to the county and they're like, yeah, for sure, we'll do that.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane, that's what goes down in that too.
Citizen Kane shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. James, you're up, dude.
All right. Next up, we're going with something that we all use every day.
Oh.
Fleshlight.
We're all... That's...
Hey, you need to
Jake
give that.
loved
Sorry
that
to
one.
burn a pic.
Jake
Sorry
loved
to
that
burn a
one, dude.
pic, dude.
Yeah, quit burning pics. Front running. Use it. Every one of us uses it every day. In fact, we quit looking at my notebook,
I'm
JT,
not looking,
and
dog.
we're using it
Looking
right
at
now.
you.
Not observed, but invented language.
Whoa. Oh, I thought.
And I'm going even before printing press, even before written language, going back to that oral tradition.
This is a great pick.
Talking
I
about
like
something that
this
is so ubiquitous that we can't imagine a world before it. But whether it's Homo erectus, whether it's Neanderthals, the proto languages that they came up with. Now you know I'm not a speciest because I'm throwing out Homo erectus props. The invention of language.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wasn't
I
always
love
here.
that.
50 probably like I wrote down about 50 BCE, but 50,000.
Like writing,
Wow.
like
BC.
writing the language.
50,000 BC?
Spoken. 50,000. I think it was 50,000. I mean, this is grok information at this point. 50,000 to maybe up to 150,000 BC.
Wow.
Dude.
And we don't know who invented it.
Oh no, we actually do.
Darren.
I wrote it down.
Some dude named Darren.
click lingua.
Really?
Came up with it.
That's why we probably call it language.
52,000 BCE.
Where in
No, dude,
France?
he stole it.
Click.
No,
No,
he stole
dude.
it.
You
He stole
think
it.
he's Edison to some Tesla?
Yeah,
no.
he stole it
is
from
the
Bono
Tesla.
Okonkwo.
No,
he
Bono
did, dude.
Okonkwo's the Edison.
No,
dude.
dude, Bono
No.
Okonkwo came up.
Bono
Everyone knows the
Edison
real.
him.
No,
No.
he just didn't have the skills to market
Look it up, Jake.
No, it's all Bono
Bono,
Okonkwo.
totally for Edison.
So I like this pick because, like our boy Yuval Noah Harari says, communication, our ability to cooperate as a species helped us eliminate others and then dominate the planet. Huge. So this is big, but it's a little gray area here, James. If I'm going to come at
agree.
you,
I agree.
I don't
Come at
quite
me.
know.
It's like, so are we saying like whoever invented sex?
Oh,
Right,
fire
right.
Like,
Fire
dude,
is
someone
gonna
invent-
razz me on that.
Because here's my thing. What makes
We
it
did
different?
not discover
what makes it
language.
different is
We
that
invented it.
fire and the manipulation, control, utility of it
Right.
exists outside of the human kind of construct and instinct. Something like language, while it was something that didn't exist and then did exist, I don't know if you could call it an invention when it's really just the result of like instinctive expansion through evolution.
Yeah.
Like, it's like sex. It's like, yeah, that wasn't always there, but at some point some guy was like, whoa, check this out. But
Yup.
it's hardwired.
I think mine have always. Maybe it was always there though.
You,
Yeah,
language?
Animals don't have language. Animals having sex.
as far as we know, they don't
Animals
have
have
language.
language, dogs
Some
bark.
do, right?
They got
You look mad at me. You're mad that I'm coming
you
after
know
this.
what?
All
All I see when I see you talking right now, JT, is
lies.
I just want to. I would friggin' love
Yeah.
just a ticket for one day to walk around
I'd
that
love
big
that.
old
That'd be
brain
great.
of yours.
You got the big old brain.
Making these arguments so convenient. Mr. Fire Guy then saying like, oh, this one's vague.
Dude, dolphins' language more complicated than ours. Orcas have accents, bro.
Yeah, you're basically saying the
they
bicameral
for real?
line when
Orcas
it
have
got
accents.
when the
Wow.
From
right and
depending
left
where they
came
are.
together.
They're Canadians.
Language was the
Canadians.
result.
They're dorks.
And I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, this is, if you're
I actually
saying
agree with your
Dorcas.
pick though.
if you're coming at me for dolphins, that's good, dude. That is another vote for how
shit.
speciest you are. Did anyone
I'm very
say?
speciest. I
No,
eat
you're not
cows.
gonna throw that at me. No, I'm
What?
not species.
Here, James, is a big knock on your pick here is it's not even unique to humans. Other animals do it, dude.
Well,
Have you ever seen a gorilla make
very
fire?
few. No. Good point. I'll
point.
acknowledge when a good point is made.
Yes.
But just because animals, I mean, like, dude, my little dachshund has a fucking raincoat. He uses a raincoat.
Yes.
So like raincoats aren't an invention? No.
Nope. Raincoats.
It was a
I love.
great pick. It was brilliant, and it's a mind bender, and that's what we're.
Tell
and-
that to
we love the
tell
mind
all
bender.
this to Click, because he would fucking take issue with all of y'all shit.
Here's the thing. The only
He
thing that
saw Bono
Slaved
Okonkwo
over
talking.
decades. Bono's a bona fide dude, charlatan. Totally stole Click's work.
You know what Okonkwo's problem was? Is that he was just talking about things that he was naturally observing in nature, and he was being pretty like low key about his language. And Click was the first one to use language for gossip, and that's what made it spread like wildfire.
Opposite of liaison. He man. Yeah.
Here's the thing that we need to keep in mind. All that matters is what Aaron thinks.
Yeah, Aaron's the ultimate judge.
Oh wait, I got a big curveball that I'm gonna throw in right here. Aaron's not judging this episode.
Who?
It's not Chris, bro. He can't.
It's not my brother. I wouldn't do that again.
Because he
Who's
gave
judging?
you the one that I won for sure.
Who's judging?
Joe Marrese.
No.
Oh, this is good.
Whoa, that
I gotta
completely,
tailor my
dude,
list.
You had that insider knowledge,
I'm putting
and
deep-
you're telling us now?
I'm putting deep dish
that
pizza on my
completely
list.
changes the whole. We gotta go pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
Sears Tower.
Sears Tower, the
Fuck,
Cubs,
the Cubs.
baseball, football.
It does.
Trojan Magnums.
The pandering is different. For
Oh my
sure.
god,
For
dude!
sure.
Dude, that
man.
that taints this whole draft.
But you know, he might not pick up his phone. It's noon. He's probably asleep.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, dude.
You're
Yeah,
up,
I don't
Chad.
feel good now. I think I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah. Man, I mean, you know, I look at this list here and it's like, there's so many things still on the table that are just kind of top invent. I feel like,
Huge.
you know, I might just be going for the dub here. I mean, first I'm gonna go light bulb.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
don't love it.
what's your beef with the light bulb?
Dude, there's no beef. There's go.
Light bulb provides us light where we don't need fire. It's safer. We're harnessing electricity. It revolutionized the world. I mean, before that, we needed candles. We needed torches. I mean, can you imagine walking? We would be doing this podcast with torches.
Yep. Also, you have to realize, and you're big on getting your Z's, it changed the human sleep pattern.
Yeah.
Humans used to sleep for a couple hours, wake up, get some stuff done. It did increase productivity. I know you're huge on that. But, dude, am I not getting the right Z's? Is it hurting my
But
boner?
yeah, probably for the worse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, light bulb has been huge, and you know now we have blue light, which you know, who knows what that's doing.
Red light.
Red light is sick.
Pimp mats.
Yeah.
Not related to light, but also cool.
Thomas Edison, dude.
And it's a part of everything too. Like, I mean, I think it's a great pick because it's just so ubiquitous. Like everywhere you go, there's light bulbs. Everything you do,
Yeah.
you're generally using a light bulb.
There's
So
light bulbs right there.
yeah, we got about
Light bulbs on our
6 lighting us
cars.
up.
Yeah.
And
You
it's,
can't
it's,
read
it's
without a
basically
light bulb
we
at
kind
night.
of invented the sun.
That's fire.
Whoa, dude.
Did now
Fire.
I'm not gonna take too much issue with this because there's a lot of picks to get to, but that's
You got my.
it does feel like it's just on the shoulders of a whole lot of other inventions.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll also say like language,
Yeah.
and then I'll also say about light bulbs that this is more just a question for the group. Now, when whoever came up with it, because I think Edison stole it from Tesla, or Tesla maybe stole it from Click. Whenever the person came up with now, did they think, oh, this is what it should be? And that's where we get the idea of like light bulb moment, is they took all these disparate parts, like, oh, combine them together, light bulb. Or is it
Right.
light bulb moment where it's just like 100 years later, like, oh, that's a light bulb moment, and you have that little emoji because they figured it out and a light was shining.
Oh.
Interesting.
So like what came first? Like the notion
Yeah.
of the light bulb idea or the light bulb?
Well, I always thought it was just light bulb moment, blink, because the lights came on. But now I'm thinking like, oh, was it the inventor thinking how it could all work, and then it came together, and then they envisioned the light bulb, and it was such a big invention that then it was like, oh, that's a light bulb moment because the inventor thought.
I think it's by virtue of how the light bulb works.
Yeah,
It kind
it's
of
gotta
looks
be.
like a dome piece, and then the way the light just comes on in it, it feels it's the closest analog we have to when it finally hits you and you realize something. You're like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it looks like a light bulb.
You can finally see it now.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's a great pick, bro. I mean, look, you got to imagine everything after 6 p.m. didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like it changed the game with that. Or you had candles. I can't imagine what a nuisance that must have been
Yeah.
to think a fire could break out at any moment.
Yeah.
And it provided, one of my favorite activities, sex with the lights on.
Oh, this is a great call.
I mean, if you wanted a clear shot of B-hole, you had to do it at noon. I mean,
Dude, when your dank fiance, dank wife goes, hey, babe, tonight, let's leave the lights on. What
Yeah.
a treat.
Yeah.
What a treat.
She's a great lady.
What a treat.
My lady.
I feel sorry for mine because she's like, can we turn the lights off this time? I'm like, no.
People are saying it did create light pollution, which
no,
does
we need them
stop us from seeing constellations.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
I was looking at the stars last night, and there is something. And going back to Rogan, callback, he talks about how human beings may have lost
really hard on
something
that.
when we can't look at the cosmos
Direction, dude.
directly. It's like we kind of lose our interconnectedness with the verse. Just throwing a breathe in there.
That's pretty sick.
Not metaverse, universe. Fuck you, Zucks. Sorry. Are you pro Zucks? Or?
He's a friend, but
Are you actually know him?
now I met him once.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I consider everybody a friend if I met you once. You're now
Yeah,
a
that's
friend,
a good
so
mentality.
He doesn't know who I am, but
He's a friend.
He's a friend.
Bro, you're picking back to back right now.
Yeah,
just
go,
so you
baby.
know.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, this is what I thought you were gonna pick. When you're talking about language, and this is allowing us to communicate on a worldwide level, to spread information faster than the printing press, to stream whatever we want on Twitch, to watch videos, to there's search engines now. It literally connected the entire world, for better or for worse. I don't know if it's been one of the bigger boons to humanity, or it could lead to our destruction, but the internet.
Yep.
What's your beef?
On the shoulders of a language. Can you imagine the internet without language? I feel like that goes hand in hand. It's almost implicit when I say language. I'm talking about all of these.
I
cool
wasn't
things.
boning
Gotta
your
agree with James
First of
here.
all, I wasn't boning your pick.
No, this is a great pick.
It is a good one.
Also, it's a great case for state-funded research, right? Wasn't it ARPA, U.S. Department
Oh,
of Advanced
right.
Research? And then they were like doing a data information swap with like, what is it, like packet swapping? Is that what they called it?
Oh, I don't.
Packet switching? But whatever, dude. Way to go, Gov. You
Yeah.
guys crushed it on that one. Changed the whole friggin' game up.
Our boy
And-
Al Gore, right? Was that Al Gore?
I think he was just part of like maybe the
He claimed
overall team behind it, but yeah, I don't think he had his hands on anything.
a lot of Bonos and Edisons
Yeah.
around here laying claim to stuff they didn't.
No, dude,
invent.
Conco's my guy.
And you know what's interesting about the internet is, like, when I was growing up, it was such like a
Packet switching.
it's such a tough. It is, the concept of it seemed difficult to grasp. The internet, and you're like, what is that? Does the internet exist? Does it? It's
Dude, that's so true. It was weird. It was impossible to talk about, and
Yeah.
yet you'd go home from school and love using it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you log onto the internet, and as a kid, I'm like, where does the internet exist? Like, what is it like? You know, the Matrix, where there's like a bunch of batteries, and that's the internet, or is it? It's kind of, it really is like, it really plays with the dome in a weird way.
And it made
It's magic.
Yeah,
It feels so magical every time you get on there.
yeah,
if you ever move, if your house doesn't have Wi-Fi or the internet, like, dude, it's not home. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I might as well be sleeping in the woods.
good call,
and,
dude.
and it took computers, which were for dorks, and made them for everyone.
Well, that's and we're living in the era now where like meatheads are on the internet all the time.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's how accessible it's become.
Like a buff dude has a blog. Like he's like, dude, I fucking took this many ounces of this today, and I did this lift,
Yeah.
and it's nice, and it helps people.
It's one of those inventions that felt like it would only be for the nerds, but it's so good everyone was like, no, we want it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the internet took it from like that. You're totally right. From like the whole like C:// coding language to ASL all day long, and I would go home and just ASL people,
Really?
age, sex, location. Give me straight. I want
My
your deets.
love
I
it,
want to
man.
see who I'm
ASL
talking to.
now.
Ooh, what are we working with in this?
For a hot
AOL
second, I thought you
chat?
were talking in technical
speaking-
jargon, but
you're
you're talking
speaking
in
my
my
language.
Yeah, and then I was like,
My wagon,
this,
bro.
I don't know how to talk about it, but this is the most valuable thing in my life. Is
Totally. And dude,
Yeah.
it's kind of like what helped me find out, the internet helped me find out how small my penis was. Because I had, focus groups of being on teams and locker rooms. But then I went to chat roulette and I saw so many dicks. And I'm
Yeah.
like, those are all bigger than mine.
Dude, but no, man. You're only seeing the best of the best on chat roulette. That's not normal.
True. These are rock star. These
Yeah.
are professionals.
Right. No,
And-
that's not the norm.
With the internet, it's sort of like you wonder, did we open Pandora's box a bit? Because you brought up the fact of like sleeping in the forest makes you a dork, but like,
Having
is
a
that what we
computer.
should be doing?
Civilization was a
Right.
mistake.
Yeah, exact. Going back to that.
They say there's like the 5-20-20 rule or something like that, where it's like you should spend like 3 days a year in complete nature, like 5 days a month, like on a moderate walk, like in some nature, and then like every day, like an hour or something. I forget like the
Yeah.
exact ratio.
And those numbers really don't add up to,
No.
to the
it's
words
like
of wisdom.
I don't know what the hell the number is, but it's
3 days,
something. It's like 3-5-2,
17
3-5-2 maybe.
hours a day.
3 days a year, 5
Dude,
days
the
a month.
internet is nuts. Am I up next? Okay, so if I'm up next, then this isn't my pick, and I'm not burning it because y'all could use it. But the internet, the biggest thing we got from the internet,
Porn.
and we're seeing it right now, not porn. That might be, throwing society
Yeah,
for a
who
loop right
invented
now.
that?
But AI, it's not my pick. So Jake, don't write it. It's not my pick. But AI is the greatest invention of the last 200 years. Easy. I'm not gonna, liaisoning is before that, but AI, dude, I've been using Grok 1 for this research. Anyone could use Grok 3. You could use ChatGPT 4, O3. You could use ChatGPT Pro, deep research, $200 a month. Not working for ChatGPT. I'm just letting people know the prices. That is insane. Deep research right now, which has been out for like a week. You can get PhD level research done in 15 minutes. You write in the prompts, it asks a bunch of follow-up. 15 minutes later, boom, it's scoured all known human knowledge and communication to come back with whatever, and not just like PhD in like some one topic. Ask it 100 different topics. And it's in our pockets. That is insane. Splitting the atom will look like nothing 100 years from now compared to AI. Artificial intelligence. And I think the better term is augmented intelligence, which in the very beginning, they didn't know which was going to win, artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence. Ultimately, I think it's augmenting all of our intelligence. That's a better name.
Yeah,
for it.
artificial
Or
just creates
machine
fear.
learning too. That was
Machine
another
learning
option,
is
right?
machine learning is part of the process in which it's developed, but probably AGI won't have anything to do with machine learning.
Oh, okay.
Like as it continues to progress, it'll like leave that
Right.
ship behind.
Do you? Well, I guess two questions. do you think it's interesting how quickly we've normalized having AI?
I think it's.
Or do you think people still just aren't even really grasping how?
I mean, just
enormous
like with podcasts. So you enjoy it just like ASL and an AOL, and you're 13 years old, and you're like, yeah, this is just the world. I don't think we really know what the hell we just created. Like they say with like podcasts, we don't even know what the fact that people can listen to 3 hours on Joe Rogan about aliens and basically like 20 years ago that would have never made more than 5 minutes on 60 Minutes. Like it would have been like, no, you can't talk about that. Like the elevation of our collective consciousness from something like AI. Yes, it's ubiquitous and we've normalized to it, but also I think just the repercussions. We're scratching the surface until 3-4 billion people have it in their pockets. No, that's not my pick. Actually,
no. One more question.
Yep.
When do you think the singularity will happen, and do you think it's going to be a net positive or net negative? Do you think we'll be under the? Do you think the singularity will be the invention of our new God?
I think singularity already happened.
Whoa.
Well, if it already happened, doesn't that mean that it's already happened a bunch of times?
I think there only is a singularity.
So we're existing in a we were born into a post-singularity world, and we don't even know that we're just part of a system.
Oldest philosophy known to humans in terms of continuous study. There are older thought processes and philosophical schools, but in terms of continuous study, the oldest philosophy known to man comes from the Vedas. These 4 philosophical textbooks and the Indus Valley, the Vedas. And at the end of it are the Upanishads. And that's like the crystallized version of the philosophy. And in the Upanishads, some of them are like 13 verses, some of them are like 35 verses. But in the Upanishads, which the philosophy is called Vedanta, end of the Vedas, Upanishads. Advaita Vedanta has been saying for 8,000 years that none of this is actually happening. That there is only a monistic, non-dual reality. And then through a projection of our mind, we're creating this like a dream, to where we think in the dream there's other people and shoes and gravity and walls and colors, but really it's just your mind creating that whole world. Yeah, it's echoes of your own projection. And there is no separation. Singularity obviously points towards this singular moment where some people say it's the crazy expansion, like a new Big Bang. Some people say it's a collapse, but that's so non-duality.
Yeah.
That non-duality is, I think it's, I totally ascribe to this view that not just simulation, but this whole thing is like a cosmic dream that isn't even happening.
And so the idea behind non-dualism is basically it's a group shared consciousness, one single consciousness, and then the individual there's one self, like capital S self, and then the individual is basically like it's the ocean, and then the individual is sort of like a wave or a ripple in the ocean. Is that how you describe it?
The appearance of an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the misapprehension that there is an individual is, I mean, this is what the Vedas say. So the misapprehension is like a wave, and that connection to what is, like you could call it God or divine or consciousness, but those are all like loaded terms. So just what is.
Yeah.
And what is having all these little ripples, but that's all. I mean, and what's so awesome about language and the internet is you watch these NDE documentaries, near-death experiences. That's all these people talk about. Like, just felt like I was going home.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come back. This felt like a lower dimension. I wanted to go there, and it just felt like I was wrapped in love and home. And maybe that's they're pointing to the same thing of like this unity that we come from, and boop, like a dream, we're just like in this experience. And like a dream, who says it even started 50,000 years ago, or a Big Bang? Like a dream, maybe it started 8 seconds ago. One of the Upanishads, or one of the texts, the Ashavakra Gita, says it's like a dream that lasts 3 to 5 days. So you pop into this room, and there was no walking into this room. It just like started, and any thoughts of what led up to it, like the dream, it's like, well, of course, we walked from the Strider and I met downstairs. But really, it's just part of the continual projection whenever you think back towards a past.
That's what they say in like NDEs too. It's that the dimension they enter is timeless. And And then Rupert Spira,
Yeah.
he talks about
Non-dualist.
non-dualism is he says that like it's when he explains death as like the ripple in the ocean just becoming the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so do you remain in that state, or do you go back?
You go back to it. It's like, at least according to Vedanta, according to the Vedas, shout out the Daily Vedantic, amazing podcast, little 15-minute episodes each day on this stuff. But what is said by that school of thought is that it's every step is a step towards enlightenment. We're all eventually getting back there.
I guess that's what the part that it all sounds correct to me in a way, but then when it says that it's a path towards enlightenment, that almost seems like a human application because there's like a slight amount of sentiment to that.
Any like layer of language, even though it's such a dope ass invention, any application of language, it's just pointing towards what is. It's like
right. So enlightenment might not even be the word. It could just be.
It wouldn't be a word. It'd just be an experience. Yeah. And it's like this one indie. This guy was saying like he was like, when I was in this new realm, I just knew everything, and I didn't know how I knew everything, and I didn't care how I knew everything. I just knew everything. So I think whatever that space is, it's certainly beyond language or like concepts.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no more singularity talk, dude.
Dude, but shout out to Leroy SV650. Language is limited by our understanding and our experiences. Yeah. Agreed. Limited.
David Mamet, it's all about people who box them in. They box themselves in with their words.
But mine goes to none of those things, even though those are dank. Listening.
No.
Dude, I love it, dude. No, dude.
Are you doing all
No,
L's?
dude. You're not doing all L's. Dude, quit trying to pattern me, man.
Dude, I'm gonna help you pick. Use the telephone,
dude.
because you can.
No, listen. I mean, this whole thing's a sham because we didn't even know who was. I thought Aaron was going to be doing judging,
bro.
So, but listening, and here's
you
the thing.
got beef with fire?
Listen.
All right,
See why we need it? We do it all day.
Yeah.
You got
reframe.
okay. About 1,000 years after Click, you had Sarah Banaducci listening. She came up with listening. Shout out female inventors. She came up with listening, and you could say like, no, animals listen. No, man, animals hear. I'm talking about listening,
Right.
Not hearing what I'm saying, but are you listening?
That's
to
interesting.
what I'm saying, JT.
You've inverted the paradigm from white men can't jump, where it was you're listening but you're not hearing.
Yeah, because they got it wrong.
I thought so too.
But
then I thought maybe that was a black thing, so I didn't want to broach that. But I respect you having the intellectual confidence to tell them what's up.
dude, it's Hollywood movies always gets like academic details wrong.
So you're saying but you're talking about beyond like just auditory listening, beyond the capacity for your ear to hear sounds. You're talking about really being able to intellectualize what those sounds are.
I just love that I'm watching a Google search of when was listening invented. I was kind of distracted by watching that type out. What was your question?
So you're
Listening, and that I wasn't doing it just then.
No, but brother, it's all right.
Man, I wasn't listening.
Because actually, I'm going with multitasking.
Wow. You better actually be going with it because you're burning picks. I swear to God.
No one was going to pick multitasking.
I will stab you with my Uniball, man.
Multitasking. All right. Strider, will you bring us back down to like material
dude.
reality?
I want to use my next pick to do something to James's list. And I'm taking gunpowder.
Yeah.
All right, this is an evil invention. This is a bad invention, but a powerful one. Changed the shape of warfare. Also can create stoke with fireworks.
Good call.
Invented in what they think is China in the 9th century. Some alchemist fucking came up with it, dude. He mixed, I don't know what creates gunpowder, sulfur, I don't know, nitrate, some shit. But potassium nitrate and sodium. So
What is going on in your mouth?
sorry, I'm chewing ice. This is a bad call. I'm sorry to do that. It's really annoying for podcasting. I apologize. Sorry.
Sorry.
Very bad
It's weird.
choice.
I kind of liked it.
Thank you. Dude, that's for all the ASMRs out there. Let's go.
Listen.
Oh yeah, listening ASMR fans, dude, they'll come to my rescue.
So, yeah, dude, gunpowder. I mean, It's how you build empires, dude. There's a fun like story about that I did on History is Dank, plug what up, where there was these guys in Bora Bora, and like there was like Bora Bora was like the most powerful tribe. Like they'd have this thing called like the silent stroke, and if like you went out on the water, they would fuck you up like in that region of the world. So they were like the most powerful warriors, and the Bora Borans like fucked up this like king of one of these islands villages, and then later like the Europeans came and brought cannons, and instead of like fearing the cannons of what they would do to his people, he was like, excellent, I'm gonna fuck up the Bora Borans with these cannons, dude. I gotta become friends with these guys. So it just like a testament to the argument of like the power of firepower supremacy, dude. It's huge. So bang. And that pick in a word, bang.
And I mean, you could argue nothing has more forcefully changed the direction of history than gunpowder.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the primary tool for the last 300 years in terms of shaping nation states.
Totally. And dude, they call the gun the great equalizer. Nerds getting the internet and computer being cool. Yeah. Sick ass movie. Equalizer.
Oh, dude, I watched that again recently.
And it took it away from the hands, right? From melee stuff.
Buff dudes had to listen to dorks, which maybe helped things out a little bit.
Wow.
He never did a sequel until Equalizer 2. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it certainly had a lot of influence in people's lives.
Huge. We got perhaps one of the greatest actors of our time to do another film.
But you know what gunpowder might have done? Might have led to less people getting jacked.
That's true.
Because they're like, I can use these as a gun. And so that maybe another detriment to society is like less people are like, I need to lift.
I got to agree with that.
And we're getting back to it now where we're like, wait.
Civilization was a mistake.
Exactly, dude.
Gunpowder killed the samurai, dude.
It's fucked up. Yeah, Last
Recall
Samurai,
Nicolas
dude.
Cage.
Dude, that might be my favorite Tom Cruise movie.
It's a great movie.
Last Samurai.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I love that movie so much that I wish he wasn't in it.
You're not a Tom Cruise guy?
No, I don't know. I can't separate the artist from the art.
Yeah, I hear you. He's a weirdo. But man, those movies
I
are
love Tom
killer.
Cruise.
He's awesome in
I
these
know.
movies.
Dude, Top Gun, the latest one was awesome too.
Yeah.
He rips.
Will you tell me how he died? No. I will tell you how he lived.
Let's go.
But here's the thing.
Wow.
But here's the thing. The other guy knows him. He already knows how he lived. So it's like, what? I've known him longer than you. What are you talking about, Johnny come lately? Yeah. That would have pissed me off. All right, dude. I'm split on some picks here because I had two very down the middle picks that I was so confident in. And then James came through and like a college professor teaching me about time just expanded my mind. That could be a pick. Modern conception of time, maybe like St. Augustine or someone like that. Some Franciscan monk just in his room, just journaling too much. But all right, so here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to go with sewage systems.
I like it. Plumbing.
Plumbing. Yeah, do plumbing. Nothing has expanded our lifespan more than modern plumbing. Civilization may have been a mistake, but as we've started to aggregate as people in cities and lived closer and closer together, a huge percentage of people would die from infection and from just not having a clean environment. All of a sudden, someone says, hey, man, we can flush this shit and keep it moving. And that's allowed us to have the lifespan to be able to invent all these other things. Like, I swear to God, if we don't have plumbing, we might not have automobiles. We probably wouldn't have the internet. I don't know about the light bulb timeline-wise, but you needed something to make it possible for us to all live together. And I think this was the biggest invention in that direction.
Yeah, we'd still be living in dysentery, cholera. These things would be wiping out maybe geniuses that invented these things that we loved. I think it's a great pick. And before plumbing, you would have these guys called night soilmen. What you would do is you would just throw shit and whatever into your yard, probably in a bucket if you were a nice person, and like a garbage truck going around, they would pick it up, take human shit out to the fields, and then on the crops, you would use your own shit and piss and whatever to then create fertilizer. Wow. So it was kind of like this, you could say it's beautiful in a way because you're using your waste to create
regenerative.
Regenerative. Yeah. Kind of gross, but it's what they did.
Dude.
Then you just flushed it down. And then I was reading this article that said with real estate, we all love real estate here, the phrase location, 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 you often think is about a view and something sick. No, it's about not being the way that the river would go when the flushable toilet came about.
Whoa.
So you want it to be up from the shit. Location,
I mean,
location,
that
location.
speaks to a bunch of other kind of phrases that could be helpful in life.
Yeah.
Shit rolls downhill.
Shit rolls downhill. There you go.
Dude, so let's give it up to, this is great intel. Let's give it up to Alexander Cummings, patented the flush toilet, 1775. Thomas Crapper invented the design of the toilet
It's amazing.
Really?
Where we get the
Yeah.
crap. Like,
That's
dude,
his name?
by inventing the floating
Wow.
ball cock and the U-shaped trap. Genius.
taking a crap, dude. It's
Wait,
the
what?
best.
He invented the ball cock? What's that?
I think the thing that goes down.
Oh.
I don't know. But he's a G. Joseph Bazzagetti designed the vast underground sewer system for London. Strickland Crease, chief engineer of Philadelphia's Department of Sewage, advocated for house lateral sewage system, and D. McComb designed and built a 2,500 long sewer
Nice.
for Washington, D.C. Beast. All right, boys, this is a huge one because it's like, this is everything right here. All right, fire,
One
penicillin, sewage, plumbing. I mean, dude, my shit is fire. You know what? Fire. I'm going with contraceptive.
Yeah, that's nice.
I
big.
think nothing is more subtly impactful on the way we live our lives. You got to think about it this way. For thousands of years, it was just pull out method. And I know fellas, they weren't pulling out. So dude,
never.
if you were just with like a wench when you were on a, little guys trip through West Virginia, that's a kid.
Yeah.
And also, like, having kids back then was so dangerous. You're dying, a huge, a scary percentage of the time. It's still really dangerous, honestly. It's crazy that we still haven't, figured it out better. But, yeah, I just think contraceptives, birth control, it changed the way people lived, and especially changed the way ladies live. Give them a lot of more autonomy in terms of their life. And I don't know if we have women in the workforce the way we do now if it wasn't for contraceptives. So
What do you think is more important for women than contraceptives or feminine hygiene products?
oh, those are close. You
For
definitely
getting them into the workforce for equality in society, what do you think?
So, if we're talking feminine hygiene product, we're talking tampons, and we're talking.
Instead of what they used, and I don't even want to say what they used, Jake can Google it, but it
Do
was
it.
tough 150 years ago. Really tough. That's why it was like, okay, this is so embarrassing and humiliating and tough. That they weren't out in the workforce. That's what they say is one
They
of the
use
biggest.
lint wrapped around wood. That doesn't sound fun.
Oh, why would they do? Who came up with
Lint
it?
wrapped
Dude,
around
worst
wood.
invention.
And then
Worse than civilization.
And then also, dude, just when a guy gets in there raw, even if he doesn't make you pregnant, the STDs, you get the clap or whatnot, if we're going back in the day. And then, dude, just the UTIs. I cannot imagine the amount of UTIs that were happening in agrarian America, dude, where your husband's out there just farming and shit in the mud, in the manure. Then he comes home, he's like, dude, I gotta bang. And she's like, Philip, please use the tub first. He's like, I'm not using the tub. I gotta get it in now. She's not in a position to argue. She's got this guy's dirty dick. And then it's like, of course she's gonna be sick for weeks. And then to the penicillin, they don't have antibiotics. People were probably getting whacked from UTIs left and right. That shit looks like a motherfucker.
Imagine before cranberry juice too.
Oh,
Then
dude.
you're even more boned.
Dude, put
Yeah, bro.
cranberry juice on there. Quit
Yeah.
burning pics, man.
So,
Yeah, that's a great pick, dude.
All right,
I mean,
it
come on,
was
bro.
it was tough for me. I got a wild card one later, but I'll hit it later. Strider, you're up, dog.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's fucking go, dude. I'm thinking.
And for the fellas too, dude. The fact that we can bang willy nilly and not have to produce a child is pretty wild.
It's clutch.
That's changed the way our brains work.
It's clutch, dude.
Dude, when I was just getting ass,
It's clutch. Dude, I'm going to go with one right now. There's another biggie on there, but it's my list already has transportation on there. I'm going to go with something right here that we love this thing. It's not even that crazy. We take it for granted. Although if you're renting in LA, a lot of the places don't even come with one of these, which is stupid in my
great
opinion.
pick.
I'm going with the refrigerator.
Nice, dude.
A lot of listeners are going to be happy with that one.
What do you do when you go to your buddy's house? You walk in, you open the fridge. I stand staring at my open fridge so long. James, you're big on meditating, increasing your dome. My meditation is staring at my open fridge being like, what am I going to go for? Is it going to be some of the leftovers from that dank ass chickpea orzo my dank wife made? Or am I going to grab a fucking IPA right now, dude? Or am I going to grab, what up? One of the magic mines. Thank you. That my wife loves.
Right when I got here, one of the first things I saw in this place was inside the fridge. Saw some magic mine.
Let's go. So the refrigerator, from a practical standpoint, it made food last longer, food preservation, huge, makes humans less wasteful, although I guess we're using energy and power, and there's a whole argument made on that. But, you know, if you're going to, have leftovers, if you're going to marinate a dank flank steak, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the fridge, take it out, grill it the next night. It's a creature comfort.
And dude, great call on flank steak. Not a lot of fat. You can eat it even if your cholesterol's boosted.
Which my cholesterol is. Thank you so much.
That, dude.
Thank you so much.
Boned we get too when our refrigerators lose power.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
When my power goes out, the first thing I do is I'm
worry about
I'm
the
like,
fridge. Yeah.
I just fucking bought groceries, dude. That shit's gonna go bad.
Right.
It's true.
I'm still eating my lady's detox soup that she made 3 nights ago. Thanks to the
Oh,
fridge.
Yeah,
let's
that
go.
sounds good.
Yeah, it's got turmeric in it.
Oh, I love turmeric, dude.
Dude, another invention.
Great invention.
Yeah.
Yeah, turmeric, not
Dude,
naturally
dude,
occurring.
shout out to Mr. Tomb.
Wait, can I predict what your next pick is gonna be?
If you read I swear I'll punch you right in
it's
the
gonna be
junk.
love.
I'll
You
punch
picked love,
in-
dude, but I did
I'll
not
punch
read
you-
it.
Punch you in the junk if
I
you
did not,
read
but
it.
I feel like I think I know what's coming. Liaison, language, listening, love.
That's what I thought too.
Dude,
You're going
first
love.
off, no, because that'd be super lame to do an alliteration. Alliteration like that would be super lame. Also, it was on my list, but what I'm about to say is actually way better than that.
Okay, cool.
So it's also, you're underselling just what my capacities to come up with best inventions of all time.
No, I'm just fascinated, so I'm trying
It's
to
gonna be
get
licking
ahead of it.
butt.
Yeah, that would be if I cared about alliterations, Strider. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's some of the ones that I didn't go with.
Lesbian.
I love this. That's a chill one.
I didn't go with lesbians, but that was on the list. And then also, I didn't go with consequences.
Oh.
I'm glad. This is
I
good for your
didn't-
list. I'm glad.
I didn't go with carpools. Carpools are dank. Shout out.
Carpools are
Carpooling.
pretty fucking sick, actually.
Wait, like driving with multiple
core
people
memories.
to a
Yeah,
place?
Yeah. I did the history of carpooling. Yeah.
I didn't
Huge
go
in the
with,
70s. Gas shortage. Yep.
I didn't go with AI because the story's still being written. It might be one of the worst inventions of all time if it ends up killing us all.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen, but I'm going to reserve my judgment till next time we do this for AI. Could have said, I'm not going to burn any others because I don't want to say what people might have said, but love was on there, but it wasn't the pick. You know, the pick is actually, because I don't think we invented love. JT, is academic reasons not on the list. The actual last one for me, which I'm sure y'all all are going to be pissed that I took, and you're going to be like, pissed that I just in this order. You won't be able to take, Chad, your last. The thing that is bringing us here. It's not just we use it every day. It's the thing that's bringing us here today. It's the thing that's bringing all of the listeners here. More important, no, not more important than liaisoning or language or listening. It's built on these shoulders. Laughter. Laughter.
Dude, this is too much,
Laughter.
bro. That is straight disrespect
Laughter.
to the job.
Listen,
That is disrespect.
let me fucking talk.
All right, go.
Are we breaking the rules in addition to swapping out judges, and now we also don't give the person the freedom of speech to make the pitch?
This is
Dude,
a great.
dude,
This is a mockery. dude.
Yeah, this is a mockery. This is a total kangaroo court over here, changing the rules. Here's the pitch on laughter.
Let's go.
Animals don't do it, so nice try if you're thinking like, oh, others do it. Dolphins,
Damn it.
They don't?
I don't think so. Let's look it up. But if they do, don't let us know the results. Then also, animals don't do it. Second of all, it doesn't just always happen. At some point, and the year was 47,500 BCE, that Jonathan Pipkin laughter came up with laughter. And that when he came up with it, there was like a total before and after in society. When people started laughing, and as our friend Theo says, it's like God tickling you from the inside. When we started to laugh as a society, maybe, and there's a huge maybe maybe civilization wasn't a mistake.
That's true.
Wow.
It is. It
I
is
rest
like
my case.
one of the few things I can point to is purely positive. Although you are actually correct in this instance that Jonathan Pipkin was the discoverer and the first user of laughter, inventor. Do you know what he was looking at that made him laugh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think we all do.
Yeah, he is his buddy Doty tapped somebody.
That's perfect. Yeah,
and
I was
that's
gonna
the
say kicked in
one
the balls.
thing that
Yeah.
makes me think it could be a negative is that even that laughter was built on someone else's pain, on Schadenfreude. And I wonder sometimes if we disconnect from pain by using laughter, and if that's what's kind of got us on a negative trajectory overall. So with all due respect, I love the pick and I love the historicity of it, but I do think you could say it's perhaps for man's betterment.
That'd be one hell of a downward spiral. It's our escape from pain, but it only creates more pain.
Exactly.
Requiring more of an escape.
It normalizes the pain and then perpetuates the cycle.
You could also say
Sorry, man. I love you, dude.
Maybe take that back. I'll go with consequences again.
you could also say it's our most powerful medicine.
Yes, our laughter is the best
Shout
medicine.
out Robin Williams.
Yeah.
That's true.
Penicillin can suck it compared to laughter.
Dude, yeah, penicillin. I've actually been prescribed laughter by Troy.
Fuck Troy.
Hear me out. I cut my foot on a reef, and I was like, do I need Neosporin? Do I need antiseptic? He's like, bro, just laugh. And I tried it, and it
You got it. You got an infection and you need it. Yeah, you need to go to the doctor. You laughed your way all the way to the doctor's office.
Dude, the dose makes some medicine. You didn't do it enough, man.
I know I didn't do it.
We used to do something whenever we were uncomfortable at a bar and we were losing energy and we felt like our stock was dipping as a result. We'd say on 3, laugh. Well, we could do it right now. It really does work. 1, 2, 3, laugh.
Oh man,
yeah, it works.
Yeah.
You're in a good mood afterwards.
Dude, there's a laughing yoga where you just go and like at the end of the
No
class,
way.
5 minutes of forced laughter that then becomes real laughter. But
That's great.
yeah.
I got to come at you here, James, a little bit.
Of
James,
course,
can you
dude.
or Jake, can you look up goats laughing, please? Because this is what they do. Goats laugh, dude.
That's
And then-
projection. That's
That
human
is- it is
projection.
human
Human
projection, you're right.
That's what you want to see. We don't say, hey, Eckhart Tolle, man, Eckhart Tolle. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as
I
we
agree.
are.
I agree. We are personifying it.
Oh,
but
I
dude,
like the
look
way
at
he
this fucking
landed
thing,
that.
dude.
Oh, dude, that's a laugh.
That's a laugh, dude.
That's 100% a laugh.
It
No,
sounds like
if
you just
you-
ripped
if
a
you-
fat bong.
Now, if you
I'm
did a
telling you
blood
that-
panel right then, there wouldn't be there'd be no biomarkers of joy there.
Dude, but that is true. But also, I have to say, laughter, once again, if we're going to knock JT on discovering fire,
That was crazy. He
laughter
came after me on
hugely
fire.
is just there.
That's because
It's
that's
natural.
no, you're actually remarking on the power of the invention. Is it's so ubiquitous you think it was always there, like
the wheel.
like you said with the wheel.
Yeah, but
and it wasn't. You take us to 48,000 BC before Jonathan Pipkin laughter gave us that. Dude, no one. You didn't see laughter like fire when a lightning strike. You didn't just like see natural phenomena of laughter. He invented it, man,
But then how
He
come...
marketed it.
But then so...
and marketed it.
Is it epigenetic? Why are my children able to laugh by the time they're like 6 months old?
I mean, you're a powerful influence on them, and you're hilarious.
So you think it's learned behavior and you think they're just an environment that's conducive to that discovery? I would agree with that.
You
Put 'em
think
in an
children
environment-
didn't smile, so cavemen's babies came out, never smiled.
Conflating laughter with smile. Now I know you're just trying to sabotage my pick.
Dude, sorry, are you saying cavemen didn't laugh?
They did after Johnny Pips showed them the way.
So Johnny Pip's clearly Anglo-Saxon heritage. Is there also a
Judgment.
little
That's
bit...
a judgment call on you.
Just based off the etymology of the name, Pip, that's Irish descent. So I'm saying, or is there a little bit of like
Fuck, he's good.
Could also be from the Shire.
ethnocentricity here? Like, are
Is
you
there what?
Ethnocentricity here? I mean, are you practicing erasure on possible other points of derivation for laughter?
Well, first off, I already talked about Sarah Beneducci Lingua
And Click
and Click Click. Sarah Beneducci listening, sorry, and Click Click Lingua.
You're right, you're covered.
I'm covering it. In fact, Click Click isn't even human. I mean, we all know he's Neanderthal, so like
That's okay. Fair enough.
we established our anti-species.
I just wanted to be careful. Yeah.
James is on
while
fire
ago.
right now, but I gotta tell you, this list, if I'm a gambling man, I don't know if it's getting the dub, James.
Oh no, his
Let me
list
look
is
at
insane.
it.
But I
one
love this-
after another. I don't
He's like
really
a
look-
woo-woo chick with big bobos that does yoga.
Yep. Yep. Dude,
I
if
think
you-
it's
James,
gonna
if you
win.
but Joe might like that.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
And well, we also know that we'll never know, at least until I call him personally. We're not going to know what Aaron thinks in this episode, so it's almost like we don't know who's going to win.
What? You're already calling into question the results?
I'm just saying, whatever Joe says, this episode deserves an
What a
asterisk.
hedge.
That's what Joe decided, not what Aaron
I want to
decided.
go to
But
Home
you know what
Depot
this
and
is?
buy you. It's called the Hedge Master. That's crazy.
Yeah, but James, you know
dude.
what? This is how the drafting goes. JT's brother judged. It's just the world we live in. So
Aaron's busy, so
we have to
sometimes
take
it's
it.
tough to align. But honestly, I can say with confidence, I think Aaron would have been somewhat offended by your list.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But Aaron, I mean this in all sincerity. I think Aaron would have thought it was too conceptual. I think it's chill and cool and provocative.
Dude,
but
Harari was right, man.
Harari is right.
Civilization
Laughter.
mistake.
Homo Deus, bro. It's the next iteration.
That's right.
All right, I got the last pick of the draft. You know, there's a lot of things on the table that I could pick that would seal the deal for me, but I'm gonna choose something that I think is sick.
Oh, no.
That fires me up. That is allowing us to go deep into space. I think maybe not. Actually, it's allowing us to travel fast through the air.
Space.
Maybe there's two different things that take us into space, but it's allowing us to travel fast in the air. It brought us Top Gun, the jet engine.
Wow. Okay, I would have taken airplane and
yeah,
you
why
get
not?
the jet.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what I meant. Airplane.
Nope.
Oh, you guys get to just talk about all these things?
No. You get it, but I can't have it in writing because that's going to be Joe's going to see that.
I think the jet engine is sick because I think it allowed planes to. And you know what? I didn't think about. Maybe I should have gone with the rocket.
You still get rockets with the jet engine, maybe.
I
Dude,
mean,
there's
rockets.
nothing out there. The airplane's actually useful. Rockets to other planets, there's nothing out there.
No,
They're going to be 100 people on Mars and be like, this place sucks. Let's go back.
dude. Yeah, Mars does look kind of lame.
True.
So you think this
Have you
whole
been to
like
Barstow? It's basically Mars.
interplanetary kind of movement for humans isn't realistic?
Yeah, it's like all these people moving in Nashville. Like it's like you do it for a few years, and then you're like, oh, the thing I was
Mars
addicted
is
to.
Nashville.
The thing I was addicted to is like my people, the scene.
you're too
the-
right.
Like, and they come back.
Dude, good call on bashing Nashville. I think it can happen.
Take that Nashville, dude. Actually, I actually kind of like Nashville.
I like the pick too because it's more of a futurist pick too. Like I think you're looking forward rather than backwards.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I blew it, but
you
thank you.
drafted on potential.
Yeah, I mean the jet engine. I think is I mean look, you have that shot in Top Gun of the just the jet
Yes.
engine, and
That's cool.
and we're going Mach 10, we're going Mach whatever. Brought us the Gillette razor as well, and the jet engine is sick. I mean it makes us go fast, and what do we as humans love to do more than anything? Go fast.
Amen, brother.
And what was, they put a jet engine on a car, I believe. That thing fucking
Dude,
went
we're
so
about to
fast.
go Mach 15.
Are we?
Yeah, there's this company, Venus Aerospace, that's like Mach 14 or Mach 15. They 3D print an engine that like the biggest thing that's limiting our speed apparently is in the jet engine from even being more dank is in melting if you go too fast, it's burning too much fuel. So then that's the limit. But then they 3D printed an engine that cools, that you can put coolant through it, and you couldn't manufacture this before 3D printing because it needed like 1,000 little nano little tubules.
That's cool.
So dude, we're still getting started on jet engines.
And just look at the jet engine. Does that not fire you
It's
up?
the most
That's cool.
badass.
That is the
And
coolest
it
one
also
on there.
it's hard to point to like any negatives that have come from it
Yeah.
other than like maybe propelling a plane carrying missiles that killed innocent people. But we don't think about that right away.
Yeah.
No, that's not what my brain goes to.
People
know?
kill people, man.
Or
People.
people
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
people. You're right.
Not jet
And
engines.
can I
Dude, does AI
Can I-
kill people?
can this be in the collective, sort of framework of the
I'm
pick?
gonna say yeah.
Can jetpack be in there as well?
Absolutely, of course.
Yes. Oh, bro,
That's a
That's
jet
the
engine,
future.
man.
Absolutely,
Then
it's in
yeah,
there.
you're going for bubbles. I like
Rocketeer,
it.
sick movie. You don't get
Rocketeer,
Rocketeer.
cool.
Jetpack.
Billy Campbell.
And
Really? That's the name of the actor?
I think so.
He's hot. He should have been in more
Yeah.
stuff.
Dude,
And
his
Jennifer,
recall. His recall. You've been taking Magic Mike.
Yeah, but dude, I think it's going away.
Jennifer
I think I got
Connelly.
early onsets. What's that word for it? See, I already forgot it.
dementia?
Dementia.
Dementia.
Damn.
Wait, dude, I got 2 picks. I think could have won it, but they were too conceptual, and that was James's corner, and I didn't want to broach. Democracy,
Ooh, nice.
invention.
Yeah. Form of government. Yeah.
We've never seen it in action. Just a slight aside, but nice.
Well, no, it's the worst form of government. It's just better than all the other ones, right?
That's right, but like we live in a
Yeah.
republic. The Greeks didn't allow women to vote,
Certain
so we've
people
never
to
really
vote.
we've never really seen it.
Yeah, the
I
way
feel
that
you on
the
that.
Greeks had invented democracy is much different than how we apply
Dude,
it
it'd
today.
be dope if we invented democracy, but only four of us decided the fate of everybody.
True, and it's like majority rules is kind of a stupid concept. It's like in school, all the people who get C's and D's, like they get to say what we do. Like majority rules is a good concept for like, hey, what roller coaster next? But like with the direction of society, it's like we should probably have the most smart people doing it. Like
Dude, in the
monarchy's
East,
definitely
that's what it
wrong.
was. Yeah, East was philosopher kings.
Philosopher kings are the best.
That's like
Warrior poets.
That's right. Yeah, the philosopher kings. They were like, I mean, even Socrates, Plato's Republic is like, no, this is
True.
not philosopher kings.
But
need to
then
be
man
rulers.
is corrupt, and you get this. You get what is it like? What do they say when like the divine say that the king should rule or whatever?
Oh yeah, what is that?
I forget what it is, but it's so stupid. And then you have and then you're doing it by lineage.
Absolute
it always
power corrupts absolutely.
no. It's like what they say why monarchs are allowed to like why they rule and society
Oh
buys
yeah,
into it.
divine lineage of like it's like yeah,
Something.
they're gods.
It's like God says I'm supposed to rule, so I do. It's like
Yeah, let me-
things always get bastardized down, but ideally a philosopher king.
Yeah, benevolent dictator. So
Oh,
what they
would be
say
so
would be
nice.
the best. Would be the best.
And then I got one more. Religion.
Whoa, Yuval.
I mean, I would argue nothing has divine right. I think
Divine right, that's it.
I would argue nothing has shaped humanity more than that.
I agree.
And even still, to this day, Deontay Wilder, it pushes us.
Yeah. Even
concrete or
Concrete's good, but you go concrete over religion. I mean, where are you going to practice religion? I guess.
obviously built on the shoulders of things like language, but yeah, I can see where you're going with that. That's a big one. That's a big one on top of others that have been mentioned.
What else? Nuclear energy.
yeah.
Huge.
Huge and just getting huge.
Like
That's
James
in
did say
30
splitting
years.
the atom. I was gonna take maybe that.
Yeah, we talk about scratching the surface, splitting the atom. In 30 years, we're gonna have nuclear power plants the size of like an apartment throughout cities that are gonna be super safe. Like as people that know about this stuff say, like we've had safe micro nuclear power plants for like 50 years in the subs.
Yeah, and people think
nuclear
that's the
subs, so, like,
future,
it's-
right?
We know how to do it. Yeah, it's
large scale domestic energy.
free energy. It's basically free. It's kind of crazy that we don't do it.
Do you,
But
do
I-
you think a lot of it is the do you
it's
think
safety concerns
yeah, and
Just the
and the propaganda from big oil
Yeah.
in the 70s being like, hey, let's fund all these environmental
right.
nut jobs to shame anyone doing anyone that's proposing nuclear plants in
Right,
their
right, right.
in their area for all the things that could go wrong, not knowing that like LA was just a basin for a crazy amount of toxic pollution. But they're like, yeah, but we don't want nuclear power plants.
Do you think society is ready to shift towards
Yeah, I
nuclear
think,
energy?
you know what's so cool about AI is I was going to put in there alphanumeric system, but
it's good.
steam
That's good.
engine.
Steam
I mean,
engine,
steam
huge. Yes,
engine.
huge.
It's like the precursor to the Industrial Revolution. But I think,
You should have put those on your list. You could have won if you put steam engine on it.
well, you got a rank order. We only get 4 picks, so I had to go with the 4 best that humanity for the next few thousand years would stand on.
Best is a subjective term.
That's true. You think you think steam engine belongs over liaisoning because
Yeah,
you have a small
But
mind.
you weren't trying to win the Grammy. You were trying to be the one that 10 years from the awards, everyone's like, I remember that
Exactly.
guy's
I
picks.
laughed at the time. You know what's cool is I heard this the other day that St. Francis used to pray for humiliation because
Yes.
he knew that it would give him humility.
Yes.
So
and it makes you tough, too.
yeah, it makes you tough because then you can just totally the opposite of truth ain't like telling lies. It's like just choosing community over telling the truth.
Yes.
So I totally get
fear.
the audience. They're gonna want to skewer me when I'm not tossing in AI or stuff.
I
like
think
that.
they love you.
But
To a scary
liaisoning,
degree.
listening.
No,
But
you
yeah,
do nail it. Opposite of Troy, dude.
I think yeah, Troy, he'd be crying right now
Yeah.
if he was trying to come up with this
yeah.
list. But I do think AI is going to allow for, I think one of the best things it's going to allow for is basically information scarcity, as other smarter people like to talk about. Information scarcity is now gone with AI. With 4 gigs, you can have all of humanity's information on your phone. That's all it takes for the English version of ChatGPT is only 4 gigs, and you can ask any question you want. They haven't allowed on-device AI yet, but that's all it takes. It's like a thumb drive. And what it's doing right now is already destroying credibility in cults, destroying credibility in like any of the tinfoil hat concepts that are limited by like a small community telling you what to do. You just ask it in something a lot less biased than a small community on Reddit, and it starts to tell you all of give me 20 reasons why the earth cannot be flat. It's really hard to argue with that. Just the off chance you want to ask it that in the midst of shit, in the middle of the flat earth meeting.
Yeah.
But could it do the opposite though?
I don't think it's so objectively informed. It's not objective, certainly not. It's still human bias, but it's so much more objectively informed based on like, it can break down research as well as it can break down a really articulate nut job and then side with the research and make it to where a 5-year-old can understand it.
Interesting. I interviewed an
Sick.
AI specialist, and he was saying that he actually thought it could accelerate like magical thinking like that for whatever reason. Maybe it was because it like under proprietary use they would allow it to be biased to people's desires, or is that not how it actually works?
Well, anything could be, anything that's private could obviously be manipulated, but I think it's now the writing's on the wall. I think it's pretty clear that open source is going to end up winning. Something like DeepSeek about 4 weeks ago kind of showed that, wow, open source can be not only nearly as powerful, but friggin' free. So if open source wins, then everybody's going to be able to check and
DeepSeek
balance,
is the one that's Chinese in origin.
Yeah, Chinese in origin. But it was an open source version. So it just shot up the rankings. This is way too much information. But it shot up the rankings.
No, it's important.
And it was so used within weeks of its release. It was the number 1 downloaded app around the world for like 8 days in a row. And it got to 23% the usage of ChatGPT. And that's the fastest growing app of all time.
But they kind of Edisoned it from...
They did. Yeah.
From OpenAI's Tesla?
They did. And it's probably like a total like Chinese psyops type of operation, but
right, there's other components to it. But in terms of its
but
usability,
in terms of showing open source is so widely preferred because it's free and nearly as powerful. I think the writing's on the wall that we're going to end up with an open source version that's more or less free. And with open source, you get something like you can't really manipulate once Bitcoin's gotten large enough. You can't manipulate the price anymore. Similarly, once a model becomes large enough, it's just too expensive for any one party or any private institution to manipulate it. That in 10 years we'll have the open source version of ChatGPT that's 10 times better, free, and informing us with more or less objective information.
What do you think of Sam Altman?
Sam's cool. He's we've been friends for a while. I met him once for 2 minutes, and no, he and I actually have been friends for a while.
Cool.
And we invested in a bunch of companies together. What I love, you want to hear a crazy story? How much time do we have? Do we have 2 minutes for a story?
Yep.
No. If there's any hesitation,
I want to hear this.
Okay, so what was really cool about OpenAI in the beginning was speaking of things that will build humility, is being really close to something that you're like, that's a fool's errand, that's not going to work, and then it works so massively, and you got to watch it miss the boat is so humbling to where it's like, I don't know shit, and I better not like claim to like know what's going to be big or not. I was in the offices for OpenAI 7 years ago, and I was working on this universal basic income research project with Y Combinator and this program that I'd gone through with Sam, and we're meeting at OpenAI's offices for months over and over again. And the whole time I was like, dude, AI, we're like 30 years away from this. This is totally bogus. That's not going to go anywhere. But this universal basic income research project we're working, this is going to be really cool to see play out. That ended up going nowhere. And I look back, I'm like, I was there in the office, the greatest innovation of the last 100 years. It's in the office, and I totally thought they weren't gonna achieve anything.
Interesting.
It's wild. Damn.
So we really don't know what, at least I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. Even though I just laid out the claim that AI is gonna be massive.
Love it.
Be sick.
It's a great story. Here's let's call Joe and get the feedback, and then we could talk all day, baby.
I know. It's a powerful tool as long as it's in the right hands and fueled with the right info.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Joe? We're drafting.
Yeah, hey, JT.
Hey, buddy. How you living?
Yeah, pretty good. What's going on?
Chilling, dog. Did you get our lists of best inventions?
Yeah, I sure did. So, is this the pod? Are we on it?
You're live.
sir.
Everything you say is being
Can
heard.
people hear me?
Yeah. Recap the list before you go through the winners.
Yeah, best inventions draft. Just acknowledge that I got it, or because I know who won in 30 seconds.
All right. Well, just do it. Recap. Read the list.
One person had a perfect draft. Oh yeah. I just want to hear that I got them.
Yeah, just you know what? Just say number 4 and then say what their picks were. Just start going through.
Like last place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then the way he listed them is that the rounds they were picked in as well.
Yes.
Okay. The second and the fourth grouping are. It's beyond unbelievable. All right, I'll say fourth place will go to, and they all start with L.
Joe, you ever read a book before, Joe?
I know, because I know this. You want this to be funny too. So is this on purpose that someone's like the idiot?
Time will tell. Time will tell. Let's check back in a decade.
Liaison language, listening, and laughter. Yeah, who invented laughter? Lewis Laughter? Who invented that?
Jonathan Pipkin, but you're close. Anglo-Saxon.
So good.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's last place.
Fucking piece of shit, Joe. We don't even know each other. and
James,
nice try.
We knew this one was coming, but here's the thing: you're proud of your list, you stand by it, and I respect the shit out of
No,
that.
I get the tradition. Raz the new guy. I get it. Even if he obviously is the winner, Raz the new guy, and I respect tradition.
Whose list is that?
That's James's. Oh, we shouldn't really tell you because you're still picking. It should still remain anonymous.
All right.
So we'll tell you later.
All right.
Just so you don't have any
Second
bias.
last is, fire, which I think is an element. I don't know if anyone really invented that. I mean, sewage and plumbing, yeah. Penicillin, no thanks. And then contraceptives and yeah, I mean, some of that stuff in there is like important, but not. I wouldn't call it like a best invention, but that's better than that other list, slightly. And then honestly, these last two, it was close. I just was thinking about some stuff that has been around for a while and is still very useful today. But I'll give second place to the printing press automobile refrigerator. And for me, the clear winner and basically a perfect draft is the wheel, the light bulb.
Thank you,
That's
Joe.
2 in a row, dude.
He's on fire.
Thank you,
You're
Joe.
on fire.
Joe, I love you, dude. I love you, and I will suck that big hog next time I see it.
All right, so you found out it was going to be Joe after you had picked wheel. Did that change your picks at all for the next 3?
You know, here's. I was nervous in that last part. I was nervous because Strider had refrigerator, and we know how much Joe loves food.
I thought Joe would have loved that.
But
Wait, whose was that? Chad's?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
picked my list.
Oh, great job. Yeah, that's you restored some dignity.
I think Joe should judge every.
He's
That's
hilarious.
in some of the other lists.
Let's also call out that we didn't know Joe's going to be judging, so
Right.
I built my list
True.
for Aaron. So we'll see what he actually judges.
I don't know
I'll
After
follow,
this.
I'll follow up with Aaron.
Who had the one with the printing press?
Me, Strider had that. I had it.
Yeah, that was good too.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean the wheel. Just starting with that's a great first pick.
It's what I would have taken if I drafted first.
Yeah, I mean, we can't all be that lucky.
Like,
Exactly, dude.
the wheel is the source of being able to pretty much move anything.
It's a bedrock.
Yep.
So that was an incredible invention, as well as the light bulb was great. I mean, the internet, we need it for our stupid modern world that we live in. And then the jet engine.
Joe, was
we need
civilization a
for-
mistake?
What's that?
Was civilization a mistake?
What do you mean?
Should we have gone back? Should we have never become agriculture societies?
No, I don't know about that. I mean, that's too. Do you mean like cities? Was it bad to build cities?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly what you mean.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
He means
Was it a
grouping
huge
into
mistake?
humans of
Joe's
more than
not
150 people.
Something to think about.
Yep.
You got to ask Joe questions like this. Joe, what's better, buildings or raspberries?
That's tough. Raspberries.
He agrees with
He
you.
agrees. Yep.
There we go. He
Joe-
doesn't even know it. And Nicholas Cage says, I feel like Joe would have given James wedgies at high school.
Whoa. No, Joe's not a bully.
Joe, yeah,
Joe's
were you
not
a bully, man?
No.
Who thinks the liaison? Are you talking about like a go-between between people?
That's exactly
How
what
is
I'm
that?
talking about.
How is that like a top? And that's your number one pick
Man.
of best invention.
I know you've only had like 2 minutes with this list, Joe, so I'm going to give you a whole lot of forgiveness here. But over the next 10, 15 days, this is going to be like a grenade that just goes off inside of you that you think about over and over again. Your whole life is built on people going in between things. Brokering deals.
Yeah, but that's not an invention.
Does it occur in nature?
Neither is laughter.
Does that occur in nature?
I think occurring in nature is a counter argument to an invention. I,
I mean,
think you got to.
the only one of those you could say that's an invention is language.
And
Well, Joe, we'll leave you there, brother.
And was that the best on the entire list?
Listening's a skill. It's not an invention. It's not something someone invented.
Well, we love you, Joe. You did great, dude. You're a wonderful judge, man. We got to have you back. You're just a crusher.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. I'd love to do it, and I'll be a part of a draft sometime as long as you guys don't record at night. I don't do night podcasts.
We know. All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
Love you,
Chad,
brother.
Chad, great draft. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
Where are you at on quantum computing?
Dude, quantum computing, it seems to be like showing that the multiverse is real.
And but a lot of it, like when I look at the practical uses for it, a lot of it
they aren't
seems
there.
it's like encryption and like data protection. It's like stuff that doesn't feel.
De-encryption even more. De-encryption meaning like breaking down, decrypting blockchain would be the bigger application. All of these things that are really hard to break through, to blunt force break through, whether it's like banking software, or whether it's blockchain, which is built to be almost impossible to break through. Yeah, apparently quantum computers might be able to break through them.
And then so Microsoft today say they created a chip that leverages a new state of matter.
Whoa.
That could underpin quantum computers more powerful than the world has ever seen. The chip employs a so-called topological superconductor, a material that isn't a solid, liquid, or gas.
Dude, we are living... Okay, so everybody says this, that the world is getting weirder faster. And, or at least some people said one guy said it, and I heard it, and I loved it. And, dude, the world is getting so weird, so much faster.
Moore's law, right? Like the technology will double over itself
and the
double
weirdness
the
of
time
it.
each
Yeah,
time.
it's double, and the fact that AI wasn't on this list, I mean, it was honorable mensch for me. It just didn't crack the top 4. Surprised me because AI. I mean, Bill Gates said it, I think, best like 3 or 4 months ago. He basically said the PC revolution and the mobile and the internet revolution are nothing in comparison to what's happening in the AI revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in like 20 years what happens. Like, because we went from like AOL Instant Messenger, then to like Facebook, just like socially, like thinking about the stuff I was going to use my whole life. I'm like, I'm going to be 40 and have like a screen name, which was Blue Balls Gone Pink. Terrible screen name. And very unfunny, very uncool. I deserved a wedgie from Joe for that. But
I like it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But now being like, dude, we're on phones, podcasting, like Slack, whatever it is.
Grok.
Yeah, just Grok. The communications is it's gonna be so gnarly. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be.
Dude, what Sora can do, I could spend a whole episode talking about what Sora can do to generate images and videos now is insane. The detail orientation off of like 4 sentences.
Really?
And about 3 minutes later, boom, just prints out 10-second, 15-second clip. They go. It's crazy, isn't it? And we're still just barely scratching the surface of this.
My beef is that it's like, and I saw this online and I agree with this beef where it's like a lot of AI, at least like we look in the creative space, like writing scripts, people are like, man, plug in a script, the best screenplay is going to come out, right? Or art, you know what I mean? Like computers are going to take art. I'm like, why can't we just have them take the jobs of like parking cars for us, like cleaning my apartment, fucking, all the shit that I don't want to do, cooking for me. How come I can't have it do that?
That's where I think people are so wrong. Creativity is going to absolutely flourish. In 50 years, we're all going to be back to working 3 hours a day.
Please God.
And
faster.
It's going to be, and that's why in the 70s when they were deciding, that one school of thought was all of this computational power is going to lead to artificial intelligence. Another school of thought said AI, but they were like, no, it's augmented intelligence. It's just going to help humans do whatever they're doing better. So if you're writing scripts, dude, an author, this in the hands of an author or writing scripts, it's going to make it so much better. Then to where you don't have to be this tiny little cog of just writing the script, to where you could take the script, let's say a movie about a cartoon dog, you can friggin' publish it, print it in 30 minutes, improve the script, then print it, have it all illustrated, and you're publishing it like the next day.
I guess the fear then, because that's incredible, but I guess the fear then is that if so many people have the capacity to create at that clip, why would anybody want anybody else's art? It's like we'd all be our own generator of art, and if AI could level the playing, I mean, I guess would it level the playing field so much that someone like Stephen King wouldn't stick out as much because so many people could create novels without that amount of effort?
I mean, I have no idea what it will look like, but I would imagine it's going to be way more communal in nature. Right now, it's just Stephen King, and then a million people reading it. In the future, someone's going to come, instead of George Lucas being like, here's the movie, someone's going to come up with a universe. Maybe put out the first, second, third one. It's going to be awesome. And then JT's going to be like, dude, I want to write my own version. I want to be in that. I want to have this version of it over here. And in the same, like App Store, the App Store has 3 billion apps or whatever, but it's not like it doesn't have value. The top apps are insanely valuable to us. So the top properties and universes that you create a character. I want to watch JT's remix version of Stephen Oswald's new world that he created, and JT's version, who's my friend. I want to watch that version, or I want to make my own.
Yeah.
And then you're interacting with different people's worlds. Obviously, video games are perfect. Video games are perfect analog to this, where by far the most valuable media that's being created in the last 10 years is video games, not in movie franchises. Why is that? Because one, people get to participate in.
Yeah, you get to live in it.
Mm-hmm.
The other, you don't participate in. It's all unilateral. The other is bilateral. You're helping create. That's what's, at least what I see when I see like the tea leaves, like that's going to be media.
Yeah, I guess the hard part is that if you do art professionally then, but it becomes so accessible to everybody, it'll be better for the art, but potentially worse for the artist. And because the medium becomes more important and the collective efforts become more important than the individual excellence, which is good, but
that is
tough to adjust to.
Well, that's the typical
history.
That is that's the typical viewpoint. I'd say the conventional view is like, oh, it's going to take, it's taking our jobs.
Yeah.
And that's what people are in fear of. But imagine, like I said, the scriptwriter that doesn't have to lean on, all right, this meeting better go well to get my movie made.
Sure.
Be nice.
And now they're 50 times more powerful, maybe 100 times more powerful, because they can actually produce that animated series on their own. Will it be a crazy long tail of junk because anybody can do it? Spotify is crazy long tail of I don't know how many new songs a day, 100,000 new songs a day that no one listens to. But the neurochemistry around, which is really cool to see over the last year, they've shown that the optimal neurochemistry around satisfaction comes from work we do with our hands. So you can you can increase dopamine through working out. You can increase serotonin through something that you eat. But if you want dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin working together, all three of them neurochemically working together within your system, then you want to do work with your hands. That's the optimal. That leads to optimal production. So what if we wake up in a world where so many of the menial tasks are taken care of, parking the cars or the just like delivering packages are taken care of in 15 years, and people are working 3 hours a day, and then they're spending 3 hours making, because writing is so damn satisfying just for the creative expression, not because I want to write this, I want to make buku bucks off of the commercial viability of this art. I want to paint because it's so damn satisfying. Based on you learn about, hey, JT, to get out of the funk that you're in, start creating things with your hands. Don't give a fuck about like the fruits of it, the commercial viability. It's just creating, sculpting, making music for that inner satisfaction. And then you wake up and you're doing it the 4,000th hour just because of that intrinsic satisfaction, which is scientifically backed.
Do you think that when we get to that point, if all the mundane tasks are taken care of, parking cars, delivering, all those jobs will become obsolete, right? Do you think there will be a necessity for like a UBI, universal basic income, for just like the general it just seems like so many jobs will be become progressively more obsolete, so we'll need something like UBI.
Yeah, that's why the research project started at the same time as OpenAI.
Yeah, was
hey, we might need, if this is successful, then we might need something like a universal basic income. I think what's missed in that the here and now is that with AI, everything that we consume is going to be 1/100th the cost. An iPhone's going to be $15, right? Because right now it's 6 6 executives deciding on the major component designs, and with AI, it's going to be like, oh, well, these are the materials that are more readily available. This is how we're going to mine them and get them for much cheaper. This is the optimal way to design the device, and everything's just going to be so much cheaper. And then you add in the progression of things like remote work, which is just, people think it's like a trend. It's not going anywhere, to where you can go back to the steam engine is one of the biggest reasons that we all started then the Industrial Revolution in manufacturing plants. We all got sucked into these cities that 400 years ago, we didn't have these concentrations of people in cities. People were much more spread out in the countryside. I think we're going to go back to that, where people are able to live in, an hour outside of Bakersfield and Zoom wherever, or move to Nashville.
What makes you
an hour outside of Nashville?
What makes you think it's going to get cheaper, though? It seems to me that like proprietary interests would still.
How are those jeans? How did those jeans get to the store to where you bought them?
Shipping.
A bunch of humans making decisions on the shipping routes, the materials, the design.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of humans making what AI will show as suboptimal decisions for, oh, that's what you want. You want that phone, like an iPhone maybe has 600 components to it. And it's a few humans designing how that phone should be put together, instead of, oh, these are the materials that we can get for much cheaper. This is how we're going to order them even in the supply chain. When you look at how supply chains are managed, it's just humans looking over spreadsheets in an insanely inefficient way compared to what AI could look at and say, oh, you need to produce this many phones. These are the materials that we're going to use.
And so would AI replace like
This is
corporate
the robot.
leadership.
These are the robots that we're going to design to be able to manufacture it. This is the speed
So
in which we're
profit
gonna do it.
margins won't exist anymore.
No, profit margins still exist. It's just you're going to have the competition, just like profit margins exist with any gains in productivity or efficiency. Product margins will still exist. Just that phone, instead of being $1,400, will be $14.
Because you can just cut like cost to
You
create it.
just the way that they're. I've never been to a Foxconn plant, but the way that those are put together with human hands. Humans being such a core part of that manufacturing process will look like the absolute friggin' dark ages in 50 years when machines are doing it all, and they're doing it 24 hours a day. There's no longer the suicide nets. So the people that are saying like it's taking jobs and it's going to replace jobs, one, yes, some of the jobs will be taken. I mean, whaling cities were huge. Whalers was one of the biggest professions 130 years ago. No one's whalers anymore. But I don't know if people are really complaining after the friction wears off of finding a new, like the Foxconn laborers. Like they have to have those suicide nets because it's so miserable. I don't know if people are going to complain after. Don't get me wrong. Anyone that gets, dude, I've been laid off before. It's fucking, it's like very tragic friction in the short term. Man, I'm so glad I'm not in that career anymore, and I would never go back. And I think it'll be the same way for a lot of people that are.
But
like,
there's,
I don't want to go back.
There feels like there's just a gap to me somewhere in terms of like, even if the cost of production goes down, the people who own the production are still going to find a way to make as much profit off of it as possible.
But if the Android phone if the competition is selling for $4.50, and
right, you're saying
Apple,
competition will undermine their ability to gouge people on price.
that is a downward force, and then the upward force is they can sell a lot more of those devices. Apple almost went out of business because that's the reason Steve Jobs was ultimately
it was too
fired.
expensive of a point of entry.
Yeah,
for
the Lisa and Apple II, the Lisa was so, and the MacBook where they were so expensive, the Macintosh and the Lisa, they were so expensive that they weren't selling. The Apple II, which was a lot cheaper, was still outselling them. They're like, yeah, he might not be a good leader because he leads to these premium products that don't.
That's when Jeff Scully came in.
That don't actually have mass appeal at the price points. Apple is a phenomenal success story, even though we think that they're premium priced phones. They are, but a phenomenal success story of getting the price just right to where they sell a bunch of them, not more than Android. Android sells a bunch more.
Yeah. I guess I'm cynical about capitalism to the point where I live in it and I try to do well in it, but I feel like there will be some kind of, gamesmanship from the powers that be to make sure that they're extracting as much for all these products as possible.
Totally.
I mean, what the other issue that is leading to the $1,400 phone? And I'm coming up on the fly,
no,
so I'm sure.
But it costs $400 to $700 for the production of it, right? So the margins are still double.
But one of the biggest reasons that the price stays so high, floats so high, is because there's 2, 3, 4 main manufacturers, because it's so expensive to get started.
Right.
With AI,
we could start a factory.
You would be able to start it so much. You'd have factories that are like, hey, we're open for business, and we're so efficient. You can rent 3 days in our factory line. And that's what we do with Magic Mind.
These big boys will just buy those factories, though. They'll buy. I mean, they can't control all that stuff.
I mean, you'd say like Coca-Cola would buy all the bottling factories of competitors, and yet Magic Mind, we use co-manufacturers. So they're manufacturing plants that have excess slack.
Yeah.
That are like, hey, do you want 3 days? We got 11 extra days each month. So with a electronics manufacturer, they just be like, hey, we've got 3 extra days, and you come along with an idea. Dude, by the way, phones are such an archaic example because in 10 years, it's just going to be such a different form factor that we're using day.
I mean, I hope you're right. I guess I just hope that there's also guardrails being put in place that would prevent kind of monopolistic control over how these things are distributed.
I think it's a good. We could go back and forth forever. I think what I think it's overlooked is in 2025, and the pessimistic view of like AI, it's going to lead to a loss of jobs, or it's going to lead to potential maniacal control of private entities. I think what gets lost is, dude, 2025, there's a whole lot of bad shit.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of issues in our world that we're not even close to solving for. And to be like, no, we got it good. No more innovations. Or like, no, we want to keep these jobs as they are.
Right, there's going to be externalities to everything, but AI could cure disease. It could expand our lifespan. It could make space and time collapse in a way that we're closer to our loved ones and we're able to spend more time with them.
Exactly.
I totally see the benefits of it. I think it's just about.
But even on that case of
track.
the private companies that are in charge of it, I think what we saw like 3 weeks ago with DeepSeek is a really good example of open source is likely going to be the ubiquitous
But
winner.
then you look at what China's doing, where they gave like some of their technology and AI to Ecuador so that they could have better policing habits on like the population because crime was out of control, but at the expense of like some personal freedoms. Now they have GPS on where you are at all times, and the state is happy for it now, but the long-term effects could be like a totalitarian existence. So I think the trade-offs are just somewhat. I don't want to be fantastical about it, but they do seem apparent to me.
There is a, to make that case with you, there's probably a higher likelihood that AI, much higher likelihood that the world gets ended by AI than something like climate change.
But it's like you said, people kill people, not planes or bombs. It would be AI as the tool.
That would
Do humans have the ability to check their own greed and selfish desires to use it properly or not? Or will it be like healthcare?
That's true. And honestly, at this stage, we're so far in, and Chad said it with Pandora's box. We're so far in that now my view on it is like the only move to make is to get really acquainted with how to use it for good.
Right.
There is no bury the head in the sand. We shouldn't do it.
No, it's out. We got to do it.
We have to
Yeah.
understand it. And like the stiff arm, I think the stiff arm knee-jerk reaction, which I get in many ways, of like, no, it's going to be bad. We shouldn't do it. When now I want to do whatever I can to slow it down and casual conversation, be pessimistic about it. I think really undersells how bad it can get if we bear our head in the sand.
If you ignore
Oh
it.
yeah, and then someone else is going to do it. Yeah.
So I think the only approach is to get really familiar with it. And dude, ChatGPT, I all the joking aside, I've never used Grok, but ChatGPT is so easy for people to use to ask a bunch of these questions.
And I think you're like Mozart. I mean, even from the way that like your list came together, if you were using that to like help, you clearly were putting in good prompts that provided a lot of interesting information, and because of that, it made for great content on here. So I definitely see.
It is great content.
I see the immediate benefit of it in the way that you have to be artful in how you use it for it to, be beneficial.
Yeah, liaisoning came. That was in the shower this morning, but
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your authorship from you. Yeah.
No, it did. I did absolutely. It was the first thing I did.
I just invented discrediting.
That's what we're worried about with our scripts, dude. Who wrote the script?
That's
the
true.
computer or the man?
Well, I actually, as soon as Chad texted me the list,
That's
I was
so
asking
backhanded of me. I'm a
ChatGPT.
fucker, dude.
I was like, what are the?
Have you seen Gangs in New York?
Dude, one of the best
Ever.
Bill
Take a piss.
the Butcher is maybe my favorite character of all time.
Mine up there for me too, and I was like the right age when I saw it. But in the end, right, the two heroes are about to have their massive conflict, and it's man against man. It's tribal. It's who's going to control this city for the future and for their people. And then what happens? Cannonballs blow them up. Technology renders their man conflict totally obsolete, and they're just lost to time. They don't even have a gravestone in a couple of years. But I feel like that's us right now. Like all this political conflict that's going on, and it feels like we're on the precipice of something gnarly. It feels like what you're kind of saying too is that that'll be displaced by something that'll make all of our human conflict seem obsolete.
Well, and human conflict's already on a great decline. Like we're closer to, I think it was in 2016 or 2017, we got closer to, it was more deaths caused by self-harm than all global conflict or violent crime combined.
Right.
In like
Safest time in
2017.
human history right now.
Safest time. But what that also highlights is, dude, we're closer, which is so crazy to say out loud, is we're closer to world peace than we are to inner peace. There is this inner monster that is being awoken in many of us without purpose, without meaning, that I think AI is going to be. If you look at the first 6 months of the most popular queries of AI, they were like, what is the purpose of life? What does it mean? And I highly encourage any listener to go ask ChatGPT these questions. It's far better than just being like, what does my older brother Dave think?
Curious. That's crazy.
But yeah, none of this is happening anyhow. This is all an illusion. Maya. Daily Vedantic. So a listener pointed to the overlap with Duncan Trussell. I love Duncan. I was one of the only other podcasts I've been on in the comedy realm.
Trussell's?
Yeah, it was
cool.
Duncan's podcast where we talked a lot about this stuff.
Well, dude,
He's a beast.
thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you all for having
You were
me.
awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
Hang with the bros.
Is there anything? You got the Daily Vedantic. Any plugs you wanna get
No,
to
y'all
to
are
the
such
Stokers?
awesome, dude. You guys are killer cheerleaders of what we're building with Magic Mind already. So no extra plug there. If people are interested in the philosophical side of stuff or learning more about liaisoning, the Daily Vedantic podcast.
Great pod.
But no, that's it. Thank you,
Awesome.
dude. I love y'all's pod. The universe that y'all created so much.
Thanks, man.
I freaking love it. I love y'all's clips, dude. The Fast and Furious quote clips, so brilliant. This pod, hey, everything but Troy.
Yeah, dude, I got to agree with you. I agree with everything you put out here today besides your list.
If you need advice, these guys